Welcome back. It's week 2 of the AEL, and we have Morgie joining us for this week. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, Jake. How'd you find last week?
Look, last week was good. We started with two 3-0s, which wasn't great, but then we ended with two very close matches and one reverse sweep. So that is more so the AEL I signed up for. So it was pretty fun. It was pretty good.
That's the AEL I remember from last season as well. I think we had some really interesting series last season. I remember, I think casting a reverse sweep, some really unexpected games as well. Even just tuning into a couple of games from last week, I think the reverse sweep involved a 7-2 win at some point. I think you
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
which is just it's crazy, but we love a bit of crazy when we're casting, don't we?
It was exciting as well because it was UTS, or well, they were the one that lost eventually, but they're the completely new team, and they came out almost taking down QUT, which were kind of like the second, third best team of last season. So it was good to see a bit of a shake-up. But the other team, the new one, University of Melbourne, they struggled.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, maybe slight bias being from Melbourne, living in Melbourne. I was so excited to see University of Melbourne in this competition. I guess it was a little bit disappointing to see a loss there with their being their first series in this comp, but hoping that they can pick it up a little bit. I think they've got a tough matchup tonight though, so yeah, it'll be tricky to see how they go up against their opponents tonight.
Yeah. Well, Morgie, we got our sponsors to thank. Do you wanna take that away?
Yeah, of course, no stress at all. So firstly, we have, of course, AGON by AOC, the gaming monitor partner, who provide the best in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. And of course, we cannot forget our noodle partner, Indomie, the noodle partner, made with high-quality flour and select ingredients and spices. A plate of Indomie mee goreng will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavors available today from your local grocer or at indomie.com.au.
Our sponsors keep us going.
Of
It's
course.
very good, and of course, Indomie being the sponsor, very appropriate for a university league. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Well, Morgie, we got UOM versus UTS coming up for our first match. So we might have UOM being able to redeem themselves a bit, but again, UTS looked pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. As we were talking about before, unfortunately UTS did suffer a loss last week, but they did manage to take the series to game 5. So, it is a good showing for their first match. But they are looking really strong, and like we said before, University of Melbourne were looking a little bit defeated last week, so it could be really tricky for them to pull out a win today.
And no massive upsets from last week. QUT almost getting upset was almost an upset. But no, we have Griffith in the bottom 7, which seems a bit silly because they came second last season, but they were up against UNSW. So I don't think they're going to be too phased by that. It's still very early on for all these teams.
Oh, absolutely. Griffith was the one team that when I looked at these standings, I was like, no way Griffith are down the bottom or in 7th position. But UNSW, we saw last season how dominant they were. They came into this striking just as hard. So you can't blame Griffith. I did think it maybe would be a little bit closer, but UNSW, they're such a scary team.
I feel like the most disappointed team would be ANU. That was a tough loss for them. They lost in game 5 as well. And they came out swinging. They came out looking good. They were up against USID. But USID, they've always been that hot and cold team. And I guess they were a bit hot and cold mid-series as well. But they eventually pulled it out.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I agree with you there. ANU I think they can be a really strong team on some nights. Ultimate Duck obviously being a very mechanical player, Metis being quite a strong player as well. And yeah, USID kind of sitting that middle pack kind of spot makes sense. I think when those two teams come up against each other on the night, it really can go either way.
The matchup I'm excited for today is UON versus QUT, actually, because they came second and third last season, but they didn't get to play against each other. And if I was Griffith, I'd be a bit cranky because everyone's been saying they thought QUT was a bit better, even though, with just how the seeding worked, it ended up UON being in the grand final. So I think if UON could take that out, it could be, a statement that they are the second best team here.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've got the potential to be, and I know we were talking about, with the team, we were talking about this before the cast started, as to, whether UON will be able to dominate this series. I really do think it's going to be close. I think QUT showed a lot of potential last season, And I think I'm not too sure, and sorry if I'm putting you on the spot, Jake. Was there a roster change with this team, or do these two teams seem pretty much the same?
No, the QT are actually the exact same. UON have swapped players a little bit, but no, it's the exact same QT roster. So hoping to see even more out of them because they certainly were getting better and better as the season progressed.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think that will be a really tight series. I think we've got some potential for a couple of game fives tonight. We've got some potential for a couple of sweeps as well, but I've made some pretty horrible calls on that before. You never know with Uni League, so interesting to see how this plays out, Jake.
Well, you're covering your bases. You said there could be sweeps, there could be close matches. I'm going to say there could be 3-1s as well. So then I guess no one could possibly be wrong. But here's the players we got today. Again, all these new players. No one's particularly stood out for me just yet for these rosters. I guess both teams did lose. So I'm hoping to see some standout performances here.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see these names. I will admit straight up, I'm not too familiar with these players, particularly the University of Melbourne players. So I'm going into this one a little blind, I guess, in terms of like background on the players. But yeah, both new teams in this league coming up against each other is definitely going to be an exciting series to cast.
I think, I can't remember, because like Greasy obviously has stolen Greasy Meister's gamer tag, one of the legends from like season 1 of RLCS. So I think Greasy was good last week though. So I'm going to keep my eye out for him. Yeah, everyone on UTS was honestly very impressive. I'm pretty gutted they didn't win, honestly. So I think they're going to be coming out really strong here.
Yeah, I think yeah, especially after the performance last week, no one wants to be reverse swept. I think you lose a series like that and you come out absolutely swinging, and like even watching the series, they came so close to just nailing that one, having that win in the bag. As much as my Melbourne bias wants me to be hedging my bets for this University of Melbourne team, I think UTS is going to run away with it.
And, I mean, you said no one wants to get reverse sweep. No one wants to get 3-0'd either first game on stream, and that is what happened for the Melbourne roster. But maybe it was just nerves. It's week 2 for both these squads, so maybe they're going to be a bit more or less camera shy, and we're jumping into the match, so we'll get to see.
Yeah, definitely. Something we've touched on before, I think, actually, in previous casts is, you know, how much nerves really do affect players, and I feel like sometimes we don't give it enough credit, especially with a new roster, a new league. It could have just come down to that. Maybe this roster hasn't even played much before. You know, when you go into uni, there's not a huge pool of players that can come together in these teams. So maybe it's just going to take a little while for them to build that synergy.
I think that's why we see players and teams getting better and better as the season progresses, because they do get that experience. A lot of these teams, especially the newer ones like these two, don't have any history together. Here's UTS starting out already looking quite threatening, although it's really slowed down. Weren't able to capitalize on that one.
Yeah, Grazy almost with an opportunity there, and we can see Stimpy quite strong in defense as well. Really good 50 there from Jeremy. Seems to be a lot of midfield play right now. Not too many solid opportunities on net, I'll say. We've had a couple of shots, but nothing too powerful, nothing too mechanical. So it'd be interesting to see who strikes first.
Both teams looking pretty relaxed, although this is the first bit of major pressure I think we've seen, and from the UOM side, that's a big miss. Fortunately, Greasy was there to get it out.
And Greasy now taking the ball upfield, just a little bit too hard of a touch to go up for a double there. We'll see Galaxy coming off the roof, really nice 50. Spring Hope Hack though, there to collect the ball, going to take it up into the air, gets past one. Nice, solid ball control there, can't take the shot though.
No, the counterattack might be on. Ooh, Jeremy just misses the ball, but Stumpy was back anyway. Feels like both teams playing very defensively to start out game 1.
Yeah, definitely. We're almost getting a little bit awkward in net there. It seems, one thing I'm noticing right now, it seems that UOM have one player kind of sitting back in net a little bit, and you know, if these players are kind of new to not to the competitive scene, but new to the kind of tournament scene, then maybe it's going to come down to just learning those rotations a little bit more, just to play a little bit more fluidly. Because you don't want a player just sitting in net. You don't have any momentum. You can't go for a save when someone takes a strong shot. So interesting to see if they start to develop that game sense a little bit better.
I'm certainly interested as well to see how this progresses. Still no goals. Like you're mentioning, no real close chances either. Just both teams sat really far back. Still feels like University of Melbourne having a bit of a fair share of the offense. But that's a great clear from Stimpy. Goes straight back to the other side yet again.
I wasn't there last week, Jake, to watch the series like live. Correct me if I'm wrong. UTS do not seem to be as I guess as fast, as strong as they were playing last week. We can see a shot taken on there, really good save by Jeremy, but we're not seeing too many opportunities, and it just doesn't feel like the same team that we saw on cast last week.
You're 100% right, honestly, that it feels a lot slower than I'm used to seeing. Both teams really reserved, not really like forcing much. Here's a chance for UOM, but you can see he's still a little slow, a little hesitant to even make the most of it. So certainly a lot of room for both these teams to speed up.
Almost feeling like it's going to go into a 10-minute OT, 0 goals. I don't want to jinx us too early. But yeah, maybe both teams just still kind of getting a little bit of a feel for each other. First game of the night also can be a little bit rough if they've just finished their classes or something, only just gotten onto the game. Some of the other teams may have a little bit more of a warm-up. So maybe this first game's just a bit of a warm-up to test the waters.
I think that will be the case. Like you're saying, I don't think this is the best we've seen out of UTS. I think Melbourne, I'm really hoping that there's more to see out of them as well, because obviously 3-0'd last week was not the start that they were after. But we'll see, still looking for their first game win in the AEL Elite Series, and as the time's ticking down, it's going to be a good chance for them to take out Game 1.
Yeah, definitely a lot more opportunity than they had last week. Again, kind of UTS being another new team, both of these teams being a new team in the scene. Oh, just a bit wide on the shot there from Galaxy.
It's actually a really nice solo play coming out of him. Super quick, but rushed the shot a little bit. Now the counter attack is on, and the bump. I don't think he actually ended up getting anything on that. Breezy with the long shot. But this is all Stimpy. Beautiful bump to get Jeremy out of the way.
Beautiful. I love to see a bit of physical play. I love bumps. I love demos. I think we don't see them enough in some of these leagues, especially Uni League. I think last season I made a comment about, just not seeing enough of that physical play. Unless Zenulus is on the field chasing demos, there isn't enough of it. But what an excellent bump there. Absolutely was the reason that goal was scored.
Pressure's on Melbourne now. They need a goal. Jeremy had a perfect opportunity, but just a little lower boost, bit mispositioned. Isn't going to find it. 10 seconds left. Melbourne, they're stuck in their half.
Ooh.
They need to get all the way to the other side, but it's not looking good. UTS continuing the pressure, and the ball hits the ground. UTS take Game 1.
That is super unfortunate there at the end for Greasy, I will say. That was a beautiful touch against the backboard, set up really well for somebody to take the shot, but both Stimpy and Spring were just sitting back a little bit too deep. No one there to really support Greasy after he was able to make that pass. But as we can see, Greasy with the goal, that he was your player to look out for tonight, already standing out in this series. But I think we're just warming up still, and I think there's definitely a lot more to come out of this team.
Didn't feel like the stats really told much of a story there in terms of Melbourne's pressure, because they really felt like they had the majority of the possession, but at the end of the day, if you're not able to convert that possession into goals, it's not very useful for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the one thing I'm noticing about both of these teams, and Melbourne in particular, is we're not seeing a lot of highly mechanical plays. We're not seeing, too many flip resets or anything off the roof. We're not seeing too many doubles or even like just attempts at the above kind of thing. So I think, you got to work with what you've got. And if I were Melbourne right now, I'd be taking note of that bump, and I'd be taking note of the UTS rotations and everything and trying to work against that.
See, going into Game 2, that was almost a great opportunity. Redirect was missed. The UTS come out into Game 2 swinging already.
I'd say the same about Melbourne putting on the pressure super early in offense. Virgo with the goal there. You can see all three players from Melbourne pushed up super high. No one sitting back in it like we saw last game. Virgo with a nice shot underneath the defender as well. Very well timed.
I think they're warming up now because they had that opportunity plenty of times in game 1, but that player just was never in the right position. But Burgo starting to pick up on the patterns, but Stimpy, I don't know how that was completely open, but he somehow missed it.
Just seems to flip a little bit too late there and just touch the ball with the wrong part of the car. When you're in that kind of position, obviously you want to hit the ball as powerfully as you can with the corner of your car. You hit the bottom, it's going to go way too slow, and as we could see, the defenders had plenty of time to get back and save that, but hopefully he learns from that kind of mistake and, you know, eases off the nerves a little bit and shoots a little harder next time.
It was honestly impressive how slowly he shot that. That was really unfortunate. Anything but that would have been a goal. It would have been a nice timing perfectly after the equalizer, but no, Melbourne are going to be able to sit on this lead for a little longer. UTS putting on the pressure, trying to get that goal back.
Definitely. I think a little bit later in the series, and I'd be saying it's a bit of a park the bus situation, but they are sitting quite far back in defense. A bit of a whiff there from Jeremy. Galaxy going to bang it up center. Stimpy there though to collect the ball in mid and make sure the ball stays in their offensive half.
Seeing a lot of misses coming out of Melbourne actually, and that culminates in this goal. Spring Hopak just with the pressure. It's like kind of just staying with it, gets the pass from Greasy, and then just very quick up to that. Pass everyone on Melbourne for the equalizer.
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing some potential. We're seeing some potential from the Melbourne side, but I think the one thing that separates good players from great players is that consistency. And you know, we've seen some great shots out of them. We've seen some great plays. They are able to create those plays, but if you're inconsistent, particularly in defense, you've got to really be careful.
Another miss from Galaxy there. Jeremy just panicking. It's a beautiful shot from Stimpy though. Great power from an awkward angle, but you're right. This feels like UTS are just holding their nerve together, able to get those shots, and they're getting rewarded.
Definitely. UTS is starting to seem like more and more of a threat in this competition, and you know, maybe I'm speaking a little bit too early here, but getting towards the middle and the end of this this tournament, I think that they will do really well.
I think so as well. I think they'd be very disappointed not being able to take QUT. Again, QUT are runners to potentially win the thing if they can somehow catch up to UNSW. But it's a tough start for UTS, but let's see if they can improve week in, week out. They haven't dropped a game yet. They're looking good to win game 2 if they can keep this lead.
I was going to say QUT winning the whole thing is a tough call when you've got UNSW in the comp, but I think, you know, we can see those kind of upsets happen. We saw, what was it, the second last week of last season when UNSW finally dropped a series? But it happens, you know, you have an off week, anything can happen. So I think QUT are definitely one of those teams, along with maybe UON to potentially cause that upset later in the tournament.
There's another goal for UTS. They're just making it look easy now. It was a nice counterattack coming out of Spring Hopak. Didn't get the flip. Could have scored that ball himself, but it's a great follow-up from Greasy, just super quick, slamming it into the net.
I love seeing players take that kind of initiative there, like Spring Hopak did. To even though he didn't get the flip, the attempt at it is what kind of caused that pressure on the defender to kind of panic and think, you know, does he have the flip? Does he not have the flip? And he managed to bring the ball right in front of the net, which is what's important there.
You're right, actually. I was just looking up. UNSW did lose to Macquarie in the final week of league play. And Macquarie ended up coming 4th. So UNSW feel untouchable, but it's a good reminder that they're not.
Macquarie had, I feel like that was a good day for Zen. We've seen Zen kind of, you know, have his good days and his bad days. I think Zen's such an incredible player, and then yeah, I think he definitely was hugely attributable to that win there. But yeah, they're definitely not untouchable.
We'll miss Zen in the Uni League, but he has opened up space for these 2 newer teams. Certainly no one's shown the personality yet of Zen, but I'm still waiting for someone to show that kind of star potential.
Definitely. Who? Oh, I feel like I knew this before we started the cast, and I'm totally blanking, but who else was... It's Macquarie, and who else not in the tournament any longer?
Let's have a look.
Sorry, I just totally put you on the spot there.
It's RMIT.
RMIT, yes, that's right. Redbacks.
They had a rough season last time as well, getting 6. So yeah, Took it personally, I guess. They're not back again.
They've had enough Rocket League. They're switching to CS instead from now on. That's a lie. I actually have no idea whether they're playing in CS or not. But in saying that, well, I'll get back to Rocket League. I think we're potentially running out of time for UOM right now to bring this back. 2 goals in 20 seconds is a hard ask, and we're seeing a lot of pressure come out of UTS right now.
UTS feel warmed up now. We were saying that they were looking a bit flat, a little bit slow in that first match, and you can see they've picked it up. They got plenty of goals from being able to just be quicker to the goal, getting that more clinical touch time and time again. So they're going to go 2-0 up here. UOM, they're looking at facing the potential of a second 3-0. They're going to have to change something.
Definitely. Well, I feel like it's really tricky to say because that first game was neck and neck. There was no separating the two teams. I think that, that there was an excellent bump, there was an excellent goal, but had that not happened, I feel like, I said it, we could have gone into a 10-minute OT very, very easily. That second game was a completely different story. UTS was really dominating there. They were putting the pressure on UOM. UOM just kind of sitting back in net too much, not causing too much pressure of their own like they were in the first game, and just panicking when they had shots thrown at them. So
UOM, we just said they need to change something pretty drastic, and they're going for it. They're bringing in a sub. Jeremy is out, at least for now. LeBeastman 1 is coming in. I don't think I saw LeBeastman last week either, so this could potentially be exciting. Wild card of a match this might be then. Yeah, again, not a player I'm familiar with. LeBeastman 1. Okay, interesting to see if he will fill shoes here, or at least just cause a little bit of chaos, cause a little bit of an upset in rotations and gameplay. Maybe go for those demos, maybe go for those bumps, something. But UOM has to do something right now, otherwise they're losing this 3-0. It's also disappointing because they had... Actually, did they have the lead? I don't know, they at least got a goal. Look, they got a goal game 2. Better than game 1. If they can get a few goals on the board here, just tighten up their defense a little bit more. They've got a good shot in this third game. But I mean, it's a lot of what ifs. We'll have to see if they can actually do it. No, you are right. They had the lead. They had a 1-0 lead up until I think for the first 2 minutes. It was like 3 minutes left, and they were up 1-0, and then just got scored on 3 times, unfortunately. But yeah, they do need to change something up. We're seeing the ball taken to the corner. Stimpy going to try and take the ball upfield, gets demoed. You see Galaxy take the ball up into the air now. Excellent ball control, beautifully against the backboard. The ball's going to go back up into the air. Virgo unable to take the shot though. That was an important shot for Virgo. Just not able to get the kind of approach needed. That's a great setup, but LeBeastman not able to get the angle either. UOM struggling in that third man position, but here comes Stimpy almost with the counterattack. Galaxy did a great job defending that. Oh, absolutely. That ball had a lot of power on it, was coming in at high speed, and Galaxy got the save, which is good to see. We're not seeing as many whiffs this game as we did last game. Gonna see Spring take a shot on as well, can't get it. LeBeastman taking the ball up center though. Virgo with the shot, doesn't quite keep control of the ball there, probably just kind of gave it away to Stimpy a bit too early. A lot of half chances for UOM here. They're certainly making some good passes, some good plays, but still just struggling on that final finish. Galaxy there as well, so close, but just not quick enough to sneak it past. We're only a minute and a half in, but it seems that LeBeastman is getting quite a few really good 50s and quite a few really good, I guess, smothers on the ball that I've noticed, and it seems that UOM is managing to keep the ball in their own half a little bit better and have better control. So maybe the sub was a good idea. Nonetheless, we're going to see UTS put the pressure back on. Spring gets knocked off the ball though. Here's Burgess. Immediately challenged by Greasy. LeBeastman has looked pretty solid subbing in. Hasn't looked particularly cold or anything, but still he's got big shoes to fill because UOM, they do need a big change here to get the win. Definitely. I mean, reverse sweep last week in the final game, reverse sweep this week in the first game? I don't know, it's possible. You see Stimpy take the ball to the corner now. Unfortunately gets knocked by LeBeastman. Again, man of the match, knocking everybody out of his way. Spring able to get to the ball just in time though before it was set up too easily for UOM. UTS doing some great scramble defense here. Not looking in the best spot, but still able to get some touches while the Beastman. Good opportunity again, but the finish is just off. Same with Burgo, unable to get that solid shot. UTS still in defense mode, still hanging on, but these shots just not enough to get past them.
Oh, called a little bit too early on that one, but yeah, didn't totally expect this one. Galaxy, I thought he'd fallen off the ball a little bit too far. I didn't see Burgo there coming in for the shot, but you know, maybe Galaxy drew the attention away a little bit from Burgo, was able to let him come in for that shot. Yeah, excellent little team play there.
Awesome pass out of Galaxy, and Burgo quick enough to follow up. So we've had the change we've been looking for.
Yes.
And they've got the lead again, but much better situation now. Only 2 minutes left, but no, the immediate equalizer coming out of Breezy with a pass play of their own.
Burgo going in for the demo there. I got excited. I was like, yes, we've seen a demo, but it may have thrown him out of position just the tiniest little bit. But, you know, we said at the start, Greasy is a strong player. He's the man that we're kind of looking out for in this series. Was able to, you know, take a really clinical shot on net there.
Be a bit disappointing for them, but see, Stimpy misses the ball. Beastman on the counterattack forces Stimpy to not the best clear. Bring Hope back. Gives his team some breathing room, but that's an awesome back forward from Galaxy. He's following it himself, but a bit too slow again.
That would have been a beautiful shot. I think if the defenders had not gotten there in time, that was absolutely going to be a shot on net. And it just seems like UOM right now, anytime they do something well, anytime they score, or even just, you know, have a really good setup or anything, UTS just turns around and does the exact same thing. Seen another shot come out of Burgo, but it's not over yet. We've still got a minute, and it seems so back-to-back right now.
UOM are picking up in a big way. That was quick. That was a 3-man team play. Finally capitalizing on all this pressure we've seen from them the entire series. So now they've got the lead back again. Less time needed to hold it on now. Just hitting the 1 minute remaining, but we'll see. UTS is so good when they need that goal, but Galaxy keeps that attempt out.
Spring Hopak with an excellent flip. It was just a little bit too slow, a little bit too high. If he nailed that just a little bit quicker, that was absolutely going straight into the net. Going to see Stimpy take the ball off the sidewall now. Excellent carry straight to Spring, but unfortunately just a little bit too far past the net though.
Clear it out, UOM. They get past Spring Hopak as well. Stimpy's in a bit of a tough spot. He turns it into an awesome clear. There's a miss. UOM in a lot of trouble here. Burgo gets saved by his teammate. That was looking very dangerous. Galaxy just dribbling it out, trying to play it safe. They have 15 seconds left to hang on.
That would have been the goal of the series if that redirect went in. That would have been so exciting. We're going to see Stimpy take the ball through the corner again, trying to get it past Galaxy. Galaxy with a really strong 50 to take the ball up the other end though. Probably going to see the ball drop. There we go. UOM. Not going to get swept today. Nuh-uh. Not like last week. I've had enough.
First game victory in the AEL Elite Series for UOM. Congrats for that. And start with a potential reverse sweep. UTS, they start these series out strong, but will last week be haunting them?
Definitely. Well, you know what I find interesting, just looking at those stats there, Jake, is LeBeastman came in as the sub, and it's not about points. It's never about points. But in saying that, statistically, LeBeastman did the least for UOM that series. But I think he brought confidence, or the sub change brought something, some kind of fire into this team. Galaxy, unstoppable in defense. Burgo, both goals unstoppable in offense. I don't know what happened, why the sub affected those two players so much, but it just did for the dynamics of this team.
See, the Beastman, he's still in game 4 now. They like the roster they fielded. They've gotten the game win they needed. And immediately starting out with some pressure. It's a great clear from Snippy.
Seeing more and more demos as we go along. Spring gonna take the ball to the side. Gets a nice little double. Unfortunately, couldn't get in front of net without that other touch, but almost resulting in a goal there.
Oh, and Spring almost needed a Jimmy dish all by himself as well. Melbourne struggling a little bit to get out, but that's an awesome backboard. Burgo misreads it. That was a big chance.
Went quite a bit too high there. We're going to see some more pressure. LeBeastman with an opportunity to take a shot on net, but sends it to the backboard. A little bit too much power. Galaxy taking the ball up the wall. Gets blocked by Greasy. Going for the double. Doesn't have any boost to finish it off, though.
Clear, but the attack continues.
Oh my god.
Spring Hopak gets the pass to Greasy, but Greasy skies it. That felt like a chance, but here's the double touch from Scrim Hopak, and he gets it.
That's the kind of player I want to see out of this UTS side. I feel like this is what we saw out of them last week. We were seeing these mechanical plays out of them last week. I'm certain I saw doubles out of them last week. And Spring is the player who can pull that off, like we just saw. Makes a huge, huge difference to the way this team scores.
The first time the UTS have scored first in a while now. We'll see if that opens the floodgates. Melbourne looking decent in this match, but UTS have certainly unlocked another level.
Absolutely. I feel like UTS, maybe they were just sitting back a little bit. Maybe, you know, you get a little bit confident sometimes when you're 2 up in a series and you go, yeah, we're just going to sweep this easy. We're going to 3-0 this team. URM was not going to let them do that. So, you know, maybe UTS is starting to feel the pressure a little bit more and realize that, you know, they're not that untouchable.
Not quite. There's Galaxy getting the clear out. Stimpy trying to center it for a teammate, but no one's there. Burgo tries to clear it out, but UTS are sitting back. They're just waiting for these clears and then keeping pressure themselves.
Yeah, definitely. And they have the time and space to sit back at the moment. When you're, you know, 1 goal up, you don't, like, obviously you don't want to get too carried away with sitting back, but, you know, they're not losing, so they don't have to put too much pressure on if they don't want to. You're going to see UOM take the ball upfield though, sends it too high, gets easily beaten by Spring Hopak again now.
There's a counterattack. Galaxy just wide. Stimpy's in a bit of trouble here. Now Spring Hopak on the counterattack. Doesn't get the flip, but still almost scored.
Doesn't get the flip, but still enough to put the pressure on. You're going to see the ball lost again, just into the corner. Too heavy of a touch. Just gives the ball away to UTS. Stimpy able to just, yeah, I guess capitalize on that opportunity. Sends the ball through 2 defenders. Galaxy can't get back in time with it.
Playing super aggressive. The turn certainly catching everyone on Melbourne off guard, it seems. Stimpy stepping up in a big way here. Gets that 2-goal cushion. Greasy's got a good chance here. Lots of ball control. Burgo, massive dunk. It's actually kind of open, but Stimpy gets the save.
Ooh, also the shot not quite going on there from Galaxy, but LeBeastman, excellent positioning there to clean up if the ball was going to go wide, which it did. Got it past Stimpy. Stimpy just kind of looking a little bit awkward there, not quite landing well, and that's all you need sometimes to get the ball past a defender.
Great assist by Galaxy as well, reading the tough clear Stimpy was forced to make. So UOM, they're not giving up yet. Keeping this close. Burgo's going to get an awesome touch here. It's going to go wide. Stimpy's there to recover, but there's a massive demo, but LeBeastman, it's just wide.
No, the net was open. We've seen, oh my god, we're seeing shot after shot out of UOM right now, but that was so unfortunate. I think maybe LeBeastman didn't realize the demo was going to happen, kind of panicked, took that shot a little bit too fast without knowing that the net was completely open. But, you know, we can see more opportunities like that if UOM start to play a little bit more aggressive, but seeing 2 defenders in net just sitting there is not what I want to see out of this side.
Oh, here's Stimpy off the ceiling. Wow, what a shot.
I'm starting to feel a little bit scared for UOM now. We've got 1:30 left. They're down by 2. And look, it's possible, but when you're getting shots like that out of UTS, UOM really have to whip a miracle out of that right now.
We'll see UOM, they've looked like the better team in terms of pressure, but they've just struggled to score those goals from it. UTS have just been seemingly scoring everything, although Galaxy almost fakes it under, can't get it past Greasy. Greasy actually gets it all the way to the other side. LeBeastman is there. Everyone from UOM scrambling, staying back. LeBeastman keeping the pressure on, but not able to get that on target.
Galaxy also taking a shot. Burgo pushing a little bit too far up in offense. Ball was easily shot over him. A massive long shot by Stimpy there. Look, I can't blame UOM pushing up in defense there. You got to do something. You got to do something quick when you're down by 2 goals with a minute left. You can't be sitting. You can't be playing a deep third man. You got to push up. So it's the risk you have to take. But unfortunately, that's the way it pans out sometimes.
Here's what we're seeing. Galaxy sends it to the corner. It's gonna get a chance. Oh, just the post has been cursing UOM all game long.
Post and the backboard. I feel like we've seen a couple of really high shots as well come out of this side, but Galaxy, nice easy shot there. Nothing too tricky about this one. Stimpy just, you know, a little bit awkward sending the ball to the corner there. Bounced out, not the way he expected. And yeah, we're going to see another shot out of UOM to bridge the gap, but maybe this could be a little bit too late.
They still need a kickoff goal, or a goal very soon. That's actually really awkward for Stimpy. You're taking way too much time. Virgo just not able to get the shot on target. Nice pass attempt, but no one was there. See what UOM have to offer. They're going to have to start throwing themselves forward. Things are going to get risky.
Definitely, and I think UTS is starting to put the pressure on in offense here, not letting UOM even get the ball out of their half. We're seeing these defenders even fight against each other just to gain control of the ball. Spring going to take the ball to the wall, maybe try and go for the double here, gets a nice touch. Maybe going to set himself up for a teammate, but can't quite get it past the defenders. I think we're out of time, Jake.
Yeah, UOM unable to get the comeback started. UTS avoiding the reverse sweep that plagued them last week. So well played from them, showing that they are a serious contender here.
Yeah, we got a game win out of them, and that's, like we said, if we're comparing to last week, it's definitely better than they did last week. I think they've had a tough run of teams already. I think that maybe later on in the season they could face a team that, you know, maybe sits a little bit lower down on the leaderboard, and then we'll get a better gauge of where they are sitting. I think LaBeastman made a huge difference just then compared to our first couple of games, but yeah, UTS just looking very dominant right now.
It's good. It's look, I'm excited to see them next week, but we've actually got an exciting match coming up. It's UON versus QUT, number 2 versus number 3 from last season. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Welcome back. We've just had a UTS take down UOM 3-1. Looking pretty good. And we will have an interview soon with Spring Hopak. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, really a good interview. Given some of the shots we saw in that series, given some of the goals we saw out of UTS, yeah, keen to ask some questions.
All right, Spring, how are you going?
Yeah, pretty good to be honest. It was a pretty good matchup. I feel the first game, we're just getting warmed up, so some of us just hopped on, but yeah, UOM were a very good team to verse. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the competition. They're good sports. They're pretty solid opponents, but I want to see just everyone in the competition just see what we're dealing with, sort of thing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, do you know many of the other teams? Have you played against them before, or did you watch last season? Is there anyone in particular you're looking out for?
Yeah, I think Tata Gain's team, Tata Gane, I think. Yeah, the UNSW team looks pretty solid. Like, to be honest, because we have talked about it before with him, but the other teams I'm not too familiar with, but it's just that team seems like a favorite to me. So
I think we were chatting to them and they were saying they think you guys have potential. How do you think you'll go overall in the Elite Series this season?
yeah, look, well, we came second in the Open, so we look pretty hopeful, but I hope we just make those finals and get to verse Tata Gain's team in the end. But yeah, look, it's going to be very interesting just versing everyone. So I think we'll make it pretty far, but don't want to be too confident, you know what I mean?
Good to know. You guys were definitely an exciting team to watch, an exciting team to cast, and definitely, I would agree. You're a team with a lot of potential in this, and we're really excited to see how that pans out. I guess what I'd really like to know is, do you guys train? Like, what's your schedule look like during the week?
Yeah, nah, we're pretty inconsistent, to be honest. So, I mean, I haven't touched the game since last Wednesday, and I don't know about the others, but it's just that we've had a history of playing together. So I would say, even though we are inconsistent with just playing the game, we still know how to play with each other and have that chemistry at the end of the day.
Yeah, good synergy.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, I'll ask you one more question then before you got to go. How do you think next week will go up against UCID, a top 4 team?
UCID, yeah, that should be an interesting one. I actually don't know who's on that team yet, but they'll update me. But I think, well, were UCID in the Elite Series last season, or?
They were.
Yeah.
It's BkWhatOCE, Sai, and BkWhatOCE.
All right. Yeah, I mean, should be an interesting matchup. I don't know. I don't want to be confident, but
You got to be confident.
Should go our way. Should go our way. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for hopping on, Sprig, and hopefully we'll get to chat next week.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
That was Spring. He's sounds like he has a lot of fun. These guys are they're just here for the vibes. It sounds like.
I feel like that's a lot of uni students, potentially a lot of players in this competition. So I wouldn't be too surprised. But yeah, definitely a good mix of confidence and humility. It sounds like in that team.
I'm looking forward. Like, yeah, I still didn't quite see a star player on the UTS roster, but I still think that they're a fun team to follow, and I'm certainly hoping they can do well. And I'm excited for their matchup against UNSW now as well.
Definitely. And I mean, I think that can sometimes play in a team's favor. Obviously, when you've got a very, very obvious standout player, other teams, who may not be as mechanically gifted or who may not be as strong can target that player. You can go for demos on the player. You can try and chase them out of the way and get them out of the plays and out of their rotations. So I think having 3 solid players is better than having one standout player.
Absolutely. No, all 3 of them played a big role in taking out UOM there. We'll see how they go in the future. I'm super excited for our next matchup though. QUT versus UON. Big names on both sides. QUT, they squeaked it out last week against UTS, but I think they're going to have to bring a better version of themselves to take out UON here.
Definitely. For that to go to a game 5 was I guess not my expectation from last week, but again, being not too familiar with the newer teams, I do find it interesting how we had our two, for lack of better words, our two losing teams last week up against each other. And now we've got the two teams that beat them last week currently up against each other. And, you know, we've spoken about UON being that solid team, that solid second place team potentially. QUT being another top 4 team as well. We've seen some incredible plays out of both teams last season. Can they bring it back this season? I don't know. We'll have to see.
So Eminence is the new player for UON. I was quite impressed by him. He was playing very quickly, sometimes lacking a bit of that consistency, but may have just been nerves for week 1. Everyone else we've seen before, though, they really are settling into the AEL scene.
Yeah, definitely. Eminence was the player I was looking out for last week when I did kind of tune into the stream and I was able to watch some of it. I saw the name and I just went, hang on, this is new. We've had a bit of a roster change here. And if I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure Eminence got the first goal pretty quickly in this series. In the UON series last week. So definitely made an impact straight from the bat, sorry.
They're an aggressive player and they have big shoes to fill. Abtix, stepping aside for this season, Abtix has been the OG for UON. Ever since I started casting, he's been playing for these guys and probably been the star player as well. So massive shoes to fill, but week 1, it was not a problem for him.
I don't know, you're a star player when you've got Bud on the team. I'm sure we're going to see Twitch chat very, very adamant that Bud is this star player, or very, very adamant that Bud's fakes are what makes the difference for this squad. But looking at the QUT side, Mac, Jacko front, they, again, another team that I would consider to be, all 3 players to be really strong players, all 3 players to be mechanical players as well. I love seeing last season Mac and Jacko, maybe it's just the names that are very similar in my mind, but seeing the team plays that came out of them were beautiful, and I'm excited to see more of that.
QT are an awesome team. I expect a lot from them. I was honestly surprised they took it pretty close to UTS. I was expecting, you know, honestly 3-0, 3-1, but no, not quite. They were able to just barely take that out. But Jacko's certainly the star player for these guys. Everyone seems to be talking about him, even the players, when they think about QUT. He was a little quiet last week, though, so maybe that could have been a bit of a factor in QUT slowing down. But it looks like we are ready to go.
Yeah, definitely, but I also wouldn't count out front. We've seen a lot of excellent plays out of him. We've seen a lot of mechanical plays, even really good solo plays out of him. Straight off the bat, though, we're going to see Mac, unfortunately, just kind of pancake the ball against the post there. But Jacko, beautiful positioning to clean that up.
Mac and Jacko combo you were just talking about. Jacko was so quick, and that's really what we were missing from UOM. We just never saw as quick of a follow-up. You can see Jacko was essentially right behind Mac that whole time, almost expecting him to miss.
Gotta have faith in your teammates, but you know, not that much faith that you're always going to believe in them scoring the goal, or always have to be there to back up and be prepared for them to miss anyway. We're seeing a lot of midfield play now. Azora getting a nice block there. Mac taking it into the corner. Gonna pass it off to a teammate. Can't quite get the shot on it though.
Whoa, that's a big miss from Bud. Completely flies past the ball. There's front. That's a massive dunk. Wow, just does not go in. Almost an early second goal for QUT.
Almost, but not quite. We're going to see front take a shot on net. Can't quite get it past Eminence though. There we go. The man of the match last series, or last week, sorry. We're going to see Bud take the ball up the wall. Excellent center. Can't get it past front though.
No, QUT have looked completely unfazed in defense. In complete control of this game, but it's only a single goal at the moment. Almost two. Jacko with the big dunk, but it does go wide.
Look, it's early on in the series, Jake, but I am worried for UON right now. I don't know what's going on. Like, QUT are a strong team, but we're just seeing so much pressure on one side. It seems like a very one-sided game right now. Seen a lot more shots come out of QUT than UON. They just seem to be having such better control of the ball, many more passes. It's not seeming too good for UON right now.
QUT look in excellent form. They're playing quick. They're playing really well. You can see they're just not giving UON any space at all. Quick to just win the race of those loose balls, and eventually there's going to be cracks already front. Almost getting a chance there, but just missing the ball.
Not quite on net, but you know, as we can see, QUT already 5 shots in comparison to UON's 1 shot. They've only had 1 this entire game, and from memory, it wasn't the cleanest shot either. So they're really going to need to do something to change it up right now. Eminence is probably going to have to be the difference here. We're going to see a shot on from Bud though. Beautiful positioning. Eminence though, I have to give credit to him there for setting that one up.
Eminence is great at finding those opportunities, centers it for Bud, but Bud's really hungry for a goal there. Not used to seeing him play so aggressively, but beautifully timed.
Maybe a bit of off-season training, maybe trying to stir the pot a little bit, a few less fakes, a few more shots on net. Love to see it. I think Bud's one of those players that, you know, you can see him getting better and better over time. I think when I did sub in last season, I was casting games, I think, you know, there were stronger players on the team, but we're really seeing him make more of a difference in the scoreline today.
Yeah, Bud has been on the grind. I've been hearing good things coming around Bud, and we're already seeing it. QT were looking monstrous to start out this match, but it's been neutralized 2 minutes in. Oh, sorry, 2 minutes left to go. It's all tied up. It's anyone's game.
Definitely. I think the thing I'm loving right now out of UON though is I think Azora, we've spoken about this before, but Azora is a really, really solid, strong player, both in defense and offense. And I think, you know, sometimes you have players that are more towards that those defensive plays, you have players that are more towards the offensive plays, especially in kind of lower level leagues. I don't mean it's necessarily a low level team, but compared to say like RLCS, for example, where, you know, players, they can do anything. But Azora's absolutely got that kind of all-round player skill.
Whoa, almost an opportunity there. No, Azora's starting to become a bit of a veteran of this roster as well. Big miss coming out of QT. Azora's on the counter-attack here. Lots of room and space to work with, but front, that's the good bump.
Azora almost with the accidental bump there, but just getting a little bit of a whiff. Very, very fortunate that Azora made it back in time to make sure there wasn't an open net shot there. Gonna take the shot himself though. Ooh. Can't get it past Front, who's just clinical on defense today.
Front was very fortunate to get back there. Just rotated so quickly, ready for Azora's quick counterattack. His Front flying forward as well. QT playing so aggressive, looking for this goal.
Yeah, they want it. They definitely want it. They don't want this to go OT. They want to end it right here, right now. Get this game over and done with. Go into the second one. But yeah, it's definitely looking a lot better than we were at the start of the series. Sorry, at the start of this game for UON.
Whoa, is that in? Jacko gets past so many players, but not past Bud. Bud has no boost, but he's still going. Opens up the space for his teammate, but QT just brings so many players forward. So that's a mistouch coming out of Mac. Now Jacko's demoed. Final chance. Looks like it'll go for UON. Eminence over 1. Not over a second. It's actually going to go back!
Oh
no! Oh, what a time to flip. Almost a disaster for Bud, but he's saved by the bell.
I think Bud knew. I think he's just trying to put us on the edge of our seats. He knew the timer was going to run out. I'm just going to do a little backflip and give everybody in this lobby a mild heart attack. But nonetheless, we've seen the ball touch down. We're going to OT. Both of these teams not relenting, not wanting to give up this game right now.
Yeah, Bud loves his fans. In it for the entertainment. Keeps us on the edge of our seats. Now Jacko. Well, that's a dangerous backboard, but no one's up for it. Just Eminence is going to keep the play going forward. It's going to be Azora, but not phasing QT just yet.
Mac just not letting anybody else get a hold on the ball right now. Some very, very solid touches, some very soft touches when needed as well, which is excellent. We're going to see Jacko pass back to his teammates. Bud gonna go for the... Oh, trying to get the pop over Mac, but can't quite get it past him in time. Probably just a little bit too slow.
Pressure continues. Eminence keeps it forward, gets the boost steal as well. Zora, decent touch. It's a bit wide. Bud's going to come in with the follow-up. Front, slow on boost. Gets dunked. QT, excellent clear from Jacko. That's really awkward for Zora, but what a touch. And the follow-up. That was excellent defense.
Absolutely. I think one thing that that I really love seeing in defense from some of these players is the lack of panic, I think, and we're seeing that out of the UON side despite the shots on goal put on QUT. I've probably spoken a bit too soon. I was going to say the control in defense is great rather than just smacking the ball away, but you know, you can't save a shot like that when it's going to go bar down from Jacko.
Not the best timing, praising UON and then immediately unable to hit the ball in defense. But that's what happens. QT, so much pressure in that game, 16 shots to 7. Certainly felt like they were in a lot of control and they were able to take it out eventually in the OT.
Holy moly, 16 shots. We don't see that every game, that's for sure. But, you know, credit to UON as well, managing to essentially block most of 15 shots. High amount of shots, but a high amount of saves as well, nonetheless.
Going into game 2, I hope it doesn't put down their spirits because that was close. UON were absolutely in that, had some great chances as well in that overtime. So we'll see. Neither team took any bit of break at all. All just instantly readied up, and we're going into game 2.
Absolutely. I'm feeling like QUT have the edge on the mechanics, but UON are just relentless in the pressure they're putting on them. I feel like Bud's a bit of a menace, going for so many blocks, going for so many 50s, just not letting anybody get away with too many free opportunities, and I think that's really good for this side.
Bud's been playing great. Here's a Zora. Trying to push the ball forward, but not quite. Now Max just keeping the ball away, but it's not the best clears. UON setting up this pressure, playing very patiently, but QT, they're all back, and they've all got a lot of boost. They're playing equally patient.
Definitely. Neither team wanting to kind of, I guess, yeah, let go of control of the ball too much right now. We are seeing a bit of back and forth, but we're seeing a lot of solid blocks, a lot of solid 50s, a lot of control on the ball into the corners as well. Potential opportunity here, but the ball's going to drop down and Mac's going to be able to take it back up.
Doing well, putting UON back into their defensive half. Keeping the pressure up as well. No big opportunities for either team just yet. Although here's one, front with the double touch out of nowhere. Gets the goal.
This is the kind of mech I remember seeing from front last season. This is what separated him as a player from a lot of other players in this league, are those clinical double touches, the flip resets. I know he's got it in him. I think this is just the start of what we're going to see this series from him.
That was beautifully done. Quick play coming out of him. Putting his team in a good spot. 1-0 up. Still a lot of time left. They'll be looking for a second. It's an awesome pass, and Jacko, from an awkward position, finds the finish.
Yeah, definitely seemed like he was a little bit awkward there to begin with, but beautiful touch off the belly of the car to get that straight onto Jacko's nose, catching the defenders so off guard.
That was super awkward. I don't know how Jacko did that, especially in Dominus. It can be a bit big and clunky sometimes. Certainly has mastered that car. Now pressure's on UON. I think they're going to want a quick reply now. 2 goals. Big deficit. And here we are. Great shot, but what a pre-jump save out of Mac.
Definitely. We don't have too many Dominus cars in this league, do we? I'm trying to think of how many I've actually seen, and I mean, I'm not a Dominus player myself. I can't handle the car. Not a fan of how flat it is personally, but I think it's definitely, you know, you can get a lot of power out of a shot out of a Dominus. So, you know, credit to Jacko for being able to manage this so well.
Let's see, they can get some more goals. Certainly the pressure is on UON. They're not looking as organized as we saw earlier, and even just getting straight up outpaced now. Here's Eminence with a lot of boost. Awesome pass. Is the follow-up there? He plays it slow, but reads the game perfectly to get that into the top corner.
Let's go, Bud. This is what we love to see. And yeah, I said it before, Bud's just improved so much in this off-season. I think positioning is 1,000 times better. I think, you know, we saw some good shots out of him last season. We saw some whiffs. We saw some fakes. But we're seeing a lot more pressure from Bud this season, and I love to see it when players improve so drastically.
What we do see. It's a tough finish as well, but he slammed it into the top corner. No problem, but there's still more work to do. It was a great goal, but there's still a goal down. They've only got 2 minutes left.
Ooh. Excellent block, double block out of Eminence, just controlling his car so well in the air, feathering the boost where needed to stay in front of the ball. I think, yeah, Eminence, again, we said made a huge impact last week. I feel like I've been focused a little bit more on Azora and Bud, but you know, we've seen those really good midfield plays out of Eminence, some really good passes, the shots on net potentially a little bit wide, but I think he really does make a difference to the squad.
What we're seeing, Jacko almost punished for being a little too relaxed there. Messing around with the ball. Bud's gonna keep the ball going in the front. Great clear. That's a great touch as well. It's actually open for Mac. Unable to get the power needed, but the follow-up is there. But no, everyone stepping on each other's toes. It's actually going to set up Azora and Eminence for a counterattack. It's over 2, but Jacko back so quickly for the defense.
Oh, the bumps, the panic, everybody getting in each other's way, the ball just not quite going in front with the excellent control we've seen him have before though. Can't quite get it past the defenders in net. The ball's still in the corner though, so who knows, we could see another center. Mac's going to take it, can't get a ball to a teammate though, everybody's sitting a little bit too deep.
Great touch. Here's Mac. Sits in the corner. Quiet it down a bit. Even though there's only 30 seconds left, I think UON are going to have to realize soon it's time to get aggressive. It's a great dribble out of Azora, but takes the ball off his teammate. He's feeling the pressure, but it didn't work out too well.
Bud wanted the shot all for himself. I absolutely believe that he was going for that one. You see him take the ball into the corner though. Mac can't quite get the touch he wanted. Shot on net. Never mind. That was definitely the touch he wanted. Set himself up for the pass. Ignore me.
No, it was a great play. Nice passing play. Super quick. He's going to confirm game 2 for QUT. UON, they were showing signs of life, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, that first game was definitely looking a little bit better than this second game. Kind of QUT just getting away with it a little too early on in this series. This is, you know what, it's, I can never call, I feel like I can just never call things lately because this is not the series that I would have, I'm not saying this is going to be a sweep, but this is not the series I would have thought would have been so one-sided tonight. I thought there are other series that could have been one-sided. This was not the one. This was the tight series for me. It's not looking good.
UON, they still have a chance to keep it tight, but match point already, 2-0 down in the series. It's not the position they'd want to be in. So, look, pressure's on. They've all instantly readied up again, so they're not going to take their time to think about anything. It's just going to be straight into the third match.
If they want to keep that momentum going, or QUT does at least, maybe UON's coming back in with a bit of fire in their bellies. They don't want to get swept. No one wants to get swept. It happens, but no one wants it. So I think they're hopefully going to take that and come into this series, come into this game with a little bit of confidence. Hopefully not let this go away with the sweep.
The frustrating thing for UON is I feel like they played better in that second match than in the first. Definitely some clear signs of improvement, but QUT just looked even better, especially mechanically. Really able to pull off those shots that they were after.
Yeah, definitely having a lot of good opportunities with team plays, but solo plays as well. Very mechanical squad, very great ball control. You're going to see Azora look for the pass here. Maybe Eminence was just sitting a little bit further back. Maybe some miscommunication there as well. It's not too often that I feel like you can kind of see miscommunication kind of play out. But we've seen it a few times here already. Azora with the shot on net though, going to put UON up 1-0 in this series. They're not wanting the sweep. They're not letting this get away from them. But Jacko. Oh
That's a
no.
big miss. That is a massive miss from Jacko. It was a tough read, but we normally see him hit those 10 out of 10 times. It's a great start for UON. Awesome pressure. Able to capitalize on Jacko being left in that awkward spot. Now we'll see if they can hold on to the lead.
Definitely a tough read, but definitely I feel like it's not the hardest thing to get a touch, just one touch on that ball, but it's hard to kind of center it where you want to. But as I'm talking, as I'm yapping away, we've seen Bud come out of nowhere with an awesome touch, an awesome shot on there.
That was a beautiful goal from Bud. Does it all himself. Eminence was putting up a bit of a threat with the demos. And Bud just passes to himself. That's the powerful dribble. Bud almost getting another goal as well. Stepping up with their backs against the wall.
Add me to the Bud fan club. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of this team. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Bud. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Eminence as well, being this new player. I think, you know, UON were sitting in that kind of that top 4 position last season. I think they're absolutely in top 4 position this season as well. But I think QUT is also, we're seeing teams that I think, you know, later in this tournament, later in this season, I think these teams will be top 4 against one another. They're just coming up against each other really early.
Whoa, that was a lot of power out of Azora. Pretty QT in a tough spot, but they deal with it great. They're even linking up now on the counter. Unable to score. QT, they're looking aggressive, but it feels a bit more desperate than we saw in that second game. It's not working the same just yet.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen many more whiffs out of QUT than I feel like we saw in either of the first 2 games. We've already seen more in this one game alone. They're looking very scrambled, maybe not quite knowing what to do in this series when they're down a game, because maybe they're a team that are used to being up early in a series or early in any game, really. So they don't quite know what to do with it. But Jacko with a really, really clinical placement there with the ball, shot went into the top corner, rolled down. Can't get more perfect than that.
It's just so quick as well. I mean, the ball just was in that kind of like 50-50 area for like a split second, and Jacko was immediately after it, getting it into the top corner. That individual brilliance stepping up.
Absolutely. We've seen Azora with a massive, massive touch across to Eminence, wide on the field right now. Eminence backed into a corner a little bit, trying to get the ball off Jacko, but he just manages to slip through the cracks there. We're going to see Mac take the ball into the corner as well, but Bud there just getting a bit of a whiff, bit of a fake on net. The ball going too wide on the shot for QUT though.
Now Azora, flips completely under the ball. Whoopsie daisies. Jacko trying to make something happen, but it doesn't matter. Somehow the ball goes to Mac and he finds the angle.
You can see the confusion right here. Eminence was, just sitting that kind of front posted net, not really where you want to be defending. I think he would have had more of an impact if he was sitting back post there. Couldn't quite, get the...
Well, not the lead, but they fought so hard to tie things up. But now UON back in the driver's seat, and now less time remaining. Less than a minute and a half.
Definitely looking like UON could potentially keep this one, or, if they manage to hold on to the lead for just over a minute now, that's all they have to do. Not let QUT run away with this series as a sweep. Just one game. Jake, we had a 3-1 last game. You said it at the start of this broadcast that, maybe we'll see some 3-1s today. Maybe we'll see all series go 3-1 today. That would be wild. But we'd have to see UNSW drop a game later on, which I don't know about that. So maybe there'll be 3-3-1s and a 3-0.
We'll see. Azora had a great chance then. Got a bit too fancy with the fake. Ooh, that's an awesome touch. I don't think Front has this. He doesn't, and that is a beautiful goal for Azora.
That was spectacular. What an awesome first touch. Managed to keep really good control of his car in the air there. Didn't lose balance. Great touch. Perfectly where he wanted on the back foot as well to get that double touch straight into the net.
So much power. Excellent work. This is looking a bit scrappy now with QUT. We have 30 seconds left. They need a goal quick. Jacko's actually going to get a shot, and he gets the goal. Things are staying interesting.
Oh, you can't let Jacko take a shot like that. He's going to hit those 9 times out of 10. There has to be the early challenge. I know Azora was a little bit awkward in the corner there. Didn't quite expect the bounce to go that way, but Jacko expected it to go exactly that way. Was able to capitalize on that shot so perfectly.
It's Jacko. Let's pass the ball. Jacko tries to ping it up. Eminence tries to shut him down. There's 13 seconds left. There's not much time. UON is still in the lead. Bud, so confident as that third man, keeping the pressure on, not giving QT any chance at all. Times hit 0, ball is gonna not hit the ground just yet. Now it does. UON, take a game.
UON do take a game indeed, and look, as much as Zora is sitting at the top of the leaderboard right now, like almost double the points of Bud in second place there. That was really an all-round game from all three players. I think Bud was hugely putting on the pressure in offense. Like you said, he was, even as third man, was pressing up really, really high into offense to make sure his team kept that pressure on. Eminence had some really great touches there, double touches into the corner as well to set up some great passes. Azora with the goals and the assists and the saves. Like that was a really good series for UON.
And on the QUT side, it was Jacko who had double the points, double the touches. He had a phenomenal game, so must be a little bit frustrating to not be able to take it out. But if he plays like that again, UON are going to have to stay in tip-top form to keep competitive.
Absolutely. Well, if they manage to keep the pressure on like they did that game there and keep their rotations nice and clean and consistent, which, you know, I didn't see them fall too far out of rotation either that game, I think they're in for a chance to take this to Game 5.
It's gonna be close, and that is a good way to start. Completely open net again, fam.
I feel like I got a little bit disoriented there. I saw Azora jump and I thought, oh no, Eminence has actually accidentally taken a no-goal, but Azora was trying to get the steal. My brain just did not handle that very well, but nonetheless, 5 seconds in, we're already a goal up for UON. That's huge.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's so uncharacteristic to see QUT just abandoning their defense like that. They've been so quick and solid back, and Bud almost own goaling. What a mess of a game this is starting out to be.
I mean, I don't even know what to expect at this point with some of these series. We've had some interesting. We've seen plenty of own goals before, so I wouldn't be too surprised if we get one this series, if we get one tonight, but. Azora, very, very clinical, very, very expecting potentially a whiff there, so back in defense nonetheless to make sure that didn't go in.
Right. Here's front. Pushing the ball forward. Pass to Azora. Azora pass down. Bud. Max there for the block. Yeah, what? UON are in the driving seat here. They're going to get a shot. Eminence just a little too high. Such a close opportunity.
So close indeed, but I'm loving the team plays that we're seeing out of UON right now. Eventually something's going to go in eventually. One of these plays are going to go in eventually because they're setting things up so well. Azora with that looked like it pinched off the post there for him to get that save. That was insane.
Whoa, there we go. Bud finds the goal. Insane indeed. Eminence. Dribble, just faking past everyone. Azora gets the bump as well. Bud's there to finish it. UON in the driver's seat.
Bang, bang, bang. That had everything to go end to end with the pinch save off the post from Azora for Eminence to take the ball upfield, get the bump, Bud to come in and clean up the shot as well. UON have absolutely stepped up their game. This is the team we saw last season. I mean, with Eminence filling Abtix's spot, but this is the kind of pressure we saw from the team as a whole. And I'm just excited to see that they're warmed up and they're absolutely in this right now.
Playing super well. Pressure is still on QT on the back foot. Front gets a mega clear. Bud's actually got no boost here. Doesn't get a strong clear. Mac keeping the ball forward. Jacko. Quiet. Star player from last game. Unable to make his mark just yet.
Definitely, but we are seeing we're seeing a lot of good 50s and a lot of good pressure out of him. And look, like we were talking before about how strong the Dominus can be. There's no challenging a 50 like that when Jacko comes up against you with the ball with the Dominus. So we're seeing some good plays out of him still, just kind of quietly in the background. Ball's going to the corner now. Mac's going to look to take the ball up to the center of the field, just awkwardly kind of rotates on the wall there. Can't quite get the touch he wanted. We're going to see neither team really handling control of the ball right now, aside from the shot.
I mean, they get the goal, but Things are back to Eminence. Eminence gets the nice dunk into the bottom corner, and things are falling apart here for QUT.
I've never been so confused with the game, not going to lie. I don't know what's going on right now, but QUT have just absolutely let this get away from them. To be 4 goals down with 2 minutes left is just not what I'm expecting out of this side, and not what we saw at the start of the series. What's happening?
And the opposite of what happened last week, QUT were the ones to reverse sweep, who started out a bit slow and had to win 3 in a row. Right now it's looking like we're heading to a game 5, potential reverse sweep for UON.
This is crazy. I think if they play, both teams play right now, next game like they are playing right now, then it absolutely is going to be a reverse sweep. There's no question about it. But QUT, maybe they need a bit of a timeout, and maybe they need to not instantly ready up after this game and kind of have a second to regather, have a second to think. You know, what do we have to do right now to not let UON reverse sweep us? Because they got to do something.
It's tough. Everything seems to be falling apart here, but it's also UON getting really sharp, really quick and consistent, and they're just punishing QUT for looking a bit too scrappy right now.
Definitely. I'm going to say what I said the first series, but UON maybe just hadn't, just finished classes, finished work or whatever like that, jumped on the game, weren't quite ready for this series. It's taken them a game or 2 to warm up, but they're absolutely on point now. They are playing so clinically, they are getting all the touches they need, they're putting the pressure on, they're rotating well. There's no stopping this side.
No, it doesn't seem so right now. Jacko is keeping the play moving forward, but keeps it out. It's a formality at this point. Still 4-0 up for UON. Maybe a consolation goal could come QUT's way, but this series is going to get decided at Champions Field.
Definitely, and I think QUT, you can't give up right now. Even the game, they're not getting 4 goals in the next 25 seconds, but a consolation goal right now would mean everything in terms of momentum for them. So they want that goal to go into next series not having just lost 4-0. So it is important that they still put the pressure on right now.
It's important. See if they can. Evidence is keeping the ball rolling forward. QUT just on the back foot like they were all game. And that's that. 4-0 down in game 4. Things falling apart for QUT. Do they have enough time to bring it all back together?
Absolutely crazy. Front's not readying up too quickly right now. We can see maybe a little bit of somewhat of a timeout. But you know what's crazy to me, Jake, is that UON scoring 4 goals that game, they only had 6 shots. So to me, that speaks levels to QUT's defense right now. I think they're really flailing in defense. They're not only are they not putting the pressure on themselves in offense, but they're really starting to flail a little bit in defense. They're starting to whiff. They're starting to lose control of the ball and just kind of give UON those opportunities. So it's tricky to say, but I think they really need to focus on their defense right now, if anything.
No, I agree as well. I mean, QUT, their offense has been great all series long. I mean, obviously shut out last game, so it did not work there, but I feel like that's what comes naturally to these guys. They like, that free-flowing, mechanical kind of style, but it's really their defense that dropped the ball in a pretty sudden way in game 4.
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree with you there. We've got some, like we've seen those kind of solo plays out of front, out of Jacko as well. Mac being really, really good at kind of collecting the ball after some of those missed shots. They are an offensive team, but when they get shut down, they start to panic, they start to scramble, they don't quite know what to do with themselves or how to control the ball in the midfield or defense. So, just focusing on that for this moment and not letting UON take so many good shots on net is really, really important right here.
So too, here's Azora. Oh, actually, Bud's sitting there. QUT starting off already not looking very organized, very on the back foot. UON gets set back to their half of the field there.
Yeah, QUT maybe expecting UON to kind of sit back into a deeper third man position, but you know, as we saw in the last game, Bud usually kind of playing that third man spot, or Zora actually in particular being back in defense a lot. But they're not sitting back in defense. They're rotating really quickly, coming out of defense and putting pressure up on the midfield and kind of sitting that third man in the midfield position, which is just not allowing QUT out of their half right now.
Not quite. Pressure is on. Everyone's struggling a bit. Front gets a good touch. Eminence is super awkward here. Jacko, oh, the ball just not scoreable for Jacko or Mac. Must be frustrating, but the attack continues. Jacko, awesome pass middle, but no one's there.
It'd be frustrating for QUT, but I think at the moment, just kind of having that little bit of light, that little bit of potential in their opportunities. Never mind. Not when Eminence is sitting in there like that, able to get a save like that when the pressure is on him. That's insane. That's got to be save of the day.
That was nuts. I mean, he was getting bumped in net and then comes out with the squishy save. That could just win them this game 5 if it is a close one. Still 0-0, neither team scoring, but QUT have found that rhythm. They put them in such a good spot early on in this series. See if UON can match it.
Yeah, I think regardless of the squishy save, that is what we want to see out of QUT offensively. That is the kind of pressure we want to see on them. I don't think they expected the save to be that good. We're going to see Azora try and take the ball up the wall, gets demoed by front. Mac trying to take it into the corner. Jacko there for the cleanup, but just shoots it a little bit too wide.
Oh, gets demoed. Azora now on the ball. Got a lot of time, but he's going to get it past one as well. QUT looking much more stable in defense this game.
Oh, absolutely. They you can tell they've taken a sec to kind of regather themselves, to just not let this game go, I guess, as badly as last game did. I think they kind of, you know, maybe just lost a little bit.
Oh, what
Eminence,
a save!
Eminence is just playing this incredible defense right now. I don't even care about what I was about to say. What is this defense coming out of Eminence all of a sudden?
Oh, Bud puts it high, but sets it off for Eminence,
Oh.
and Eminence scores! Bud follows up with the bumps, and UON get the first goal in Game 5.
That is quick thinking from Bud. Just, yeah, the positioning obviously after the shot, I guess kind of somewhat accidental positioning for him to be there, but to register so quickly that Eminence was about to come in for a shot and to just drive it back at full speed was excellent.
Wow. In a Game 5 that's been dominated by QUT, suddenly all the tables have turned. UON in the driver's seat, and there's only a minute and a half left.
Oh, this is insane. This is insane, but this is exciting. This is what we want to see. This is what I hope Twitch chat is wanting to see out of these series as well. As much as a sweep is great for one team, it's not exciting to watch. It's not exciting to cast. This is what we want to see. We want to see back and forth team plays, shots and shots and shots out of Eminence. This is crazy. What a new player to this roster.
Eminence with an insane MVP performance in this Game 5. What a pass from Azora though. UON, everyone is linking up. Everything is working beautifully. And QUT, they still got a minute. They're certainly in this, but they've got to step up.
Absolutely. Apologies if I'm calling this out too early. I don't know who we're interviewing after this game, but I want to talk to Eminence. I want to know what's going on right now. For him to have turned it on so quickly, be getting so many saves and so many shots, making such a huge difference for this Newcastle side against QUT, against such a strong roster in this league. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now, Jake.
This is awesome, and they're staying so aggressive. Look at Eminence go. They're not parking the bus. They're 2 goals up. They completely could, but the aggression's continuing. They're just not giving QT any space. The misses are coming out now as well. The clock is still ticking. The pressure continues.
They're putting on such a show right now, such an absolute show. UON take a bow Look, maybe I have a feeling Storm's in the background. I reckon Storm's coaching in their ears in between these games saying, boys, here's what you have to do. Here's the plan. Storm's an incredible player himself, so I would absolutely believe that. But UON, what a turnaround. What a series. Huge difference from game 1 to game 5. I think this is such a strong roster, Jake.
That was crazy. What a series.
Wow.
That is... I was not expecting that. I was not. QT have been so good. Even Jacko was in form in that series as well. But wow, UON off the back of Eminence, the new player as well, elevating the team to new heights. But Bud and Azora, I mean, stepping up as well, looking the best I've seen them play as well. This is going to be an exciting roster this season.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, we were talking about teams to challenge, you know, our reigning champs, UNSW. This is the roster that's going to do it. This is the roster. If they play against UNSW, if they play how they did right now, UNSW is in for a challenge, I reckon. Absolutely.
All right, well, it's exciting stuff, but we will go to a quick break. But when we're back, we'll get to chat to Bud and hear everything that was going on. So stay right there, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back. We've just had an insane reverse sweep against two of our best squads in the league, honestly. We've got an interview coming up soon. I'm excited. What do you think of it, Morgie?
That's honestly, to date, that is one of my favorite series that I've ever casted. That was exciting. It was scrappy at times. There were clinical shots at times. There were solo plays. There were team plays. It was a reverse sweep. It's everything you want in a cast, and that was exciting for me.
Look, it was awesome, and I think Bud is ready to chat to. So, Bud, how are you feeling, man?
Excited. Very excited.
Excited, good to hear it. You've absolutely been training in the off season.
Yeah.
Not saying that you weren't a clinical player before, but you really stepped up today. What's made the difference, do you think?
Just a lot of hours in the game, getting coaching sessions. Really helped me out. Yeah.
How about the Eminence pickup though? That's he had a big series.
Yeah, well, we've been in the club for a year or so now. He just finally this semester decided we wanted to play, and we've been happy just put him on the team, and it's worked really well.
Definitely worked really well. That series was so good. It was incredible. You guys were managing to pull off some really good team plays. You had some excellent shots as well. And look, I will confidently say I'm going to hold myself to this. I think you guys are going to put on a challenge to UNSW. I'm really excited to see it. Do you think that? Well, I mean, would you agree? Do you think that you're confident in a top 4 position at the moment?
Yeah, we're very confident we can be in the top 4, even top 2. How we've been playing in this series. Top 1 might be a bit difficult, but we'll have to give it a shot.
Absolutely.
Cool. And I guess last question: what was going through your guys' head when you were down 2-0? Like, were you confident? Were you just like, disappointed? What happened? What changed?
Well, for me, I was just panicking all over the place. I just didn't have boost. It just wasn't a fun time. That's for probably the whole team. Like, we didn't have boost, and we've realized that they just always want to go up, and we just had to challenge it earlier to make sure they can't do it.
Congrats, man.
Sure. Definitely put the pressure on.
Thanks.
Yeah. No, well played, Bud. Congrats again to the whole team, and yeah, hopefully we can chat again next week.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
That was sick. That's the first player I've heard in a long time actually say they've been training and they've been putting in work, and it showed. It did great. So look,
Yeah.
that was great to hear from Bud. Morgie, I think we got to thank our sponsors for being able to put on such a good show.
Of course, and what an incredible show it has been. It would not be as good as it is if it wasn't for our sponsors. So don't forget, we've got AGON by AOC, the gaming monitor partner, who provide the best in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. Secondly, our delicious partner, our noodle partner, Indomie, the noodle partner made with high-quality flour and select ingredients and spices. A plate of Indomie mee goreng will certainly brighten up your day. Try any of the flavors available today from your local grocer, or of course, you can order them at indomie.com.au. Thanks
again to all the sponsors. We got UCID versus Griffith coming up next, and this is going to be potentially a close one as well. These two teams are kind of like our inconsistent teams, because UCID have had high highs and low lows, and I kind of feel the same with Griffith as well. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Griffith, it's hard to call because they did manage a second place last season, but we had teams in the league like Macquarie, who's no longer around, but teams that I would call Macquarie inconsistent. I think they had a huge potential as a roster, but ultimately didn't get to where I think they could have. But Griffith, they had some wins, they had some losses, and ultimately managed a spot in second position. But I think UCID as well. This is a roster kind of like Macquarie that I look to as a really strong roster. Cabilio, Cecilio, BkWhatOCE as well, I think hugely stepped up last week. So it's really, really tough to call this. I would have thought that
you know, they could have been that middle pack team like last season, but I think this is a really strong roster.
Well, Griffith is definitely the favourites. You should have a lot to prove after a pretty rough season last season. Griffith 3-0'd them as well last season, so we'll have to see. I think you said they're pretty chill though. I mean, they've been this kind of inconsistent up and down roster team for a while now, so I think they're just used to it. And since last season wasn't the best, it's kind of their time to have a better season, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Counted as a bit of a write-off, and you know, it's almost exciting coming into a tournament or coming into any series, any matchup as the underdog. I feel like it allows players to kind of focus on the game itself and not the pressure being put on them. You know, with players that aren't as experienced with competition, like we will see a lot of players in this league, when you're expected to win, it puts an unnecessary amount of pressure on you that can really affect your gameplay. So I think that actually plays in UCID's favour here.
I think so too. Looks like we're heading into the match. I mean, what a tough game to follow though. I mean, off a reverse sweep, such a close game 5 as well. This is still going to be exciting though.
Yeah, definitely. I think this will be maybe a lot closer than we would have seen last season. Already a shot off the bat from I completely missed who actually took that shot. Never mind.
Griffith
we're saying Griffith took the shot. I was trying to name the player for a second and just completely flashed by me, but we're seeing some shots from Griffith early. That was Exile, that one. I saw that. Ultraviolet centering it back for Exile, though. Can't get it past Emilio, who was too quick for the ball.
Good start for Griffith, but no goals. UCID hanging on in a great way. ADOS has no boost here. Oh, still so close. Almost an own goal from Sai, but they keep it out.
Almost managed the strong, muscly 50 past the defenders with no boost. Would have been impressive to see that feat. Seeing Exile try and center the ball, Ultraviolet also unable to do so. BkWhatOCE getting 50'd. A lot of midfield play right now, Jake.
That is what we're seeing, but it certainly seems to be all Griffith at the moment. Here's UCID finally seeing the other side of the pitch. Everything's very clogged up at the moment in this corner. Nothing really dangerous happening, but they can't seem to get it out either.
Yeah, it seemed to that we're seeing Emilio go for the spawn demos there, trying to make sure there are no defenders in net to defend any of these shots. But I feel like we really are seeing the ball get stuck up one end for a period of time, back down the other end for a period of time. A lot of demos early as well. Yeah, I think, honestly, to me, it's reading very, very scrambled. It's reading very, very unorganized from both teams, just unable to really set up too many solid opportunities.
It's still 0-0. It's definitely a scrappy game to start. UCID have had a lot of pressure now, but it's very slow and very static. No big chances just yet.
Yeah, no big ones indeed. Quite a few 50s. A lot of, I feel like we're seeing a lot of players without boost as well. Not really focusing on their small pad grabs necessarily. We see Exile there going for the big boost. Like a lot of players, you know, it's a good thing to learn how to play with low boost or without boost as well. You can't always rely on the big pads. So if you get caught out too often without boost, you're in trouble.
Yeah, we'll see. Griffith have finally gotten out of their half. They've all got their boost, but now they're all missing the ball. So it's a hard game, Rocket League. It's hard to get everything working in unison. Now Sai's turn to miss. This is actually really dangerous. It's a beautiful pass to Exile, and Exile gets the finish.
Absolutely. Clinical positioning from both of those players right there. ADOS with an excellent touch on the ball right off the very, very corner of his car with the dominance to get that power on the pass straight into the net after that.
It's so tough for BkWhatOCE to defend. 1-0 down now, but there's still plenty of time left for UCID to make their comeback.
Ooh.
That actually might just go straight in. Wow, Ultraviolet with no boost was just able to get to that.
Oh, speaking about how dangerous it can be playing in some of these games with no boost, Ultraviolet keeping his composure there, making sure not to panic too hard. Can't say that I would have had the same composure in the same situation. A lot of players would let that ball roll into net. We're seeing a few whiffs out of both sides, Jake. This is not what I would have expected out of these teams.
And now no one's back. Oh, but Sai misses again. You're right. Just in those big moments, maybe the nerves get into everyone.
Definitely. Exile going to pass the ball down, gets a weird double touch off the jump there. Ultraviolet trying to center it, but just gets smothered by two defenders, Kabilio and BkWhatOCE in position there. BkWhatOCE going to try and take the ball, can't quite get it past Exile though. He's going to take it into the corner to AEST. Kabilio accidentally centering it in front of net. Really, really good composure there to make sure that wasn't in a position to take a shot.
No, not quite. Ultraviolet, great defense here. Keeping them in it. They're in the lead, but it's only by one. UCD are going to start to play more aggressive, and you can already see the shots are coming. The aggression's there, one after another, but the shot is wide.
Cecilio's shot did go wide, but I think it could have been on BkWhatOCE there to kind of, I think he turned a little bit too early to rotate back. Had he stayed in position just a little bit longer, just a split second longer, could have had the follow-up shot. Nonetheless, we're going to see Ultraviolet go under him here. Cecilio trying to take the ball, but gets smothered very quickly in defense.
Here's what we're seeing. BkWhatOCE not able to get that goal either. It's actually completely open. Sai barely gets the save. No one from Griffith really in a rush at all. And with it 0 seconds, Sai tries to keep the ball up, but it falls down. Griffith take game one.
Indeed, they do take game one. They did seem pretty relaxed more towards the end there. It did seem like a bit of a park the bus kind of situation. They weren't necessarily needing to put too much offensive pressure back on UCD. Obviously, the ball in UCD's court to turn the game around and try and equalize. But you know, we've seen like we said last season, we've seen Griffith 3-0 UCD. Are we going to see that again today? It could be looking like it. UCD really need to step up their game quickly.
Look, it was still a very close match, though. I mean, definitely disappointing that UCD got shut out, unable to score a single goal, but it still was only one goal separating the two teams, so I still think this is anyone's series.
Definitely, I think you could be right there. We're going to see the second game kick off and the ball go Griffith's way into the corner. A little bit awkward for Kabilio to get to. Exile going to go to take the shot, but goes a little bit too high. Ball still in the corner for AEST though. Ultraviolet going to go with the center, can't quite get it, gets blocked.
Not quite. Now Kabilio. Ooh, great pass play from Griffith, and it is going to be a goal. That was smooth.
I want to say that was actually tactical from Ultraviolet there. I think maybe it was a shot attempt to go a little bit too wide, but nonetheless, AEST there to clean it up. Perfect positioning. Even Exile was there as well to clean that up. Third man pushing up quite into offense right there. But I think that worked out really well for him.
Absolutely. Can't complain. Here's Exile.
Ooh.
Close. Keeping the ball going forward. Ultraviolet now keeping UCD back. UCD not really able to get a chance just yet.
Seeing some really good pre-flips out of AEST as well. It was I guess it was just a pretty simple block there, but I guess it's a testament to his ball control. It's a testament to his car control as well to be able to time something like a pre-flip to beat a defender to the ball. I think that's really good play out of him.
I think so too. Violet gets demoed. See daisies. Exile. Here's AEST now. Gets completely dunked by Sai. But Griffith looking very calm in defense, even with those unexpected turn of events.
And definitely same kind of scenario as we saw last game, I guess, when Griffith managed to get a goal up or even just a lead in general on UCD. They're just relaxing, they're just chilling. They don't need to stress too much. They don't need to panic and put the pressure on. But we're starting to see some pressure on from UCD taking some of these shots. Cecilio tries to go for a shot as well. Just awkward positioning. BkWhatOCE with a shot that goes too wide. Vilio can't get it either, neither can Cecilio. experiencing a bit of scrambled defense, but it's playing in Griffith's favor right now.
It is, but still no goals. Griffith holding on, but eventually something was bound to crack. Sai eventually sees that open net and takes his opportunity.
Definitely, I think we were a little bit boost starved there. We can see some of, I think it was Ultraviolet, went pretty wide to try and grab a big pad kind of after they'd been pretty exhausted in defense from UCID's last attack. So you got to be careful there when you leave your net too open. But we're seeing shots immediately off the bat, out of Griffith to come back in this.
Griffith almost scoring. It was an insane save by UCID. Hanging on to this 1-1 scoreline for now. Almost at the halfway line. That's a great setup potentially. That's an awesome shot. It's too wide though. Now suddenly Kabilio is left completely alone. He gets the challenge.
Yeah, Griffith just not keeping too close of an eye on their touches. They're having some pretty heavy touches to fall upfield when, when Kabilio's back alone in net like that. You got to take a self-touch, you got to keep control of the ball and not just playing it away. That gave Kabilio the opportunity to defend there, but we're seeing more whiffs. We're seeing these unnecessary whiffs we're seeing them out of both sides, but out of AEST just there, that's too easy for Kabilio. He can't go wrong.
That was uncharacteristic. Griffith have been so solid in defense. And just unexplainable, honestly. No pressure, no reason, just a complete miss.
I was just about to say with that setup off the kickoff, I'm waiting to see some fakes, and we saw Kabilio go for the fake just then, but Griffith weren't too phased by it. Definitely a favourite play of mine personally. When you got one defender straight back centre and when you got one kickoff straight back centre and the other two on either side, a fake can work really well in a team's favour.
They're clearly reading your mind then. It's good to see them mix up these kind of plays, especially so early on in the series, just showing it's a serious strategy they go for. It's not just out of desperation.
Yeah, definitely, and it goes to show that the players are really, they're coming, they're discussing these things, they're not just going at the ball for the sake of, trying to hit the ball. Kickoff strategies are a huge thing, and I feel like it's something we don't see too often in Uni League. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen too many varied kickoff strategies yet.
No, I haven't seen it really either, so there's definitely room for improvement, but that's what we've been seeing from these teams just every season. It feels like the bar is getting raised higher and higher.
Definitely, I think you're right, where I'm sure we're seeing players come from, high school league into uni league as well, and the longer players are kind of playing in tournaments. If we've got experienced high school league players coming into uni league as well, it's just going to set the bar higher and higher every time. But some of these veteran players that have returned season on season, I'm sure you would know kind of who those players would be. They're just coming back stronger and stronger, aren't they?
Absolutely. Here's Kabilio passing it to Sai. You should have just been comfortably hanging on to this 1-goal lead. Griffith haven't really had any serious attack in the last few minutes, but now, actually, as I say that, a beautiful shot by Ultraviolet. The usage just combining beautifully to keep that ball out.
And definitely two defenders jumping for that save, just then not allowing the ball to even go remotely near the line. UCID managing to take a game back and even out this series 1-1.
Well played from UCID. Keeping it close. Like we were saying, but both games now, they've been decided by a single goal. Seems like a very close competition here.
Definitely. And I think something interesting to note, just looking at the statistics as well, Griffith, all three players getting a number of saves each. I think they were pushed back to defense quite a lot more in that game than they were in the first game. But all three players managing to kind of step up and fill that defensive third-man role when needed. I think that goes to really show that they can be that really all-round solid squad.
Well, let's see. Going into game 3, ADOS almost getting a goal out of nothing. You said that it feels like their defense has certainly stepped up in a big way in game 2.
Oh, absolutely. They've warmed into the series a lot better. than they came into it, that's for sure. Seeing Ultraviolet take the ball to the center. That it almost looked like it was going in. I think it was just going to hit the backboard there. Exile with a shot on net as well. A bit of an awkward shot on net. Cilio manages to get the save though.
Does well. Back to glass. Forward. It's a bit of a pass play, but Exile with the pre-jump reads it beautifully.
Here we're going to see ADOS take the... Sorry, excuse me, the dog in the background. So sorry if that came through my microphone. That's excellent. Sorry, back to the game. Seeing a bit of scramble going on. Exile trying to take the ball down the center. Cilio gets a good touch on it though. Exile just managing to, also managing to get a clip on it. ADOS back in time though to make sure nobody gets an opportunity on net.
This series has certainly done a 180. Griffith's starting out so strong, but it feels like UCIT are really in the driver's seat now.
Definitely, they've taken control of the. I mean, they managed to take control of last game. They're definitely looking to take control of this game as well. Kabilio with a shot on net. None other than a save from ADOS though, managing to get a beautiful touch against the backboard.
That was a hero save. I don't think Exile had that, or if he did, it was definitely going to be close. Here's some miscommunication. Sai's got a ton of time, but they take too much of it. UCIT missed their opportunity, but it's just continuing. It doesn't matter. The pressure goes on, and Sai makes up for his mistake and gets the first goal.
It wasn't for Eminence's squishy last series, I would have called that one save of the day, but we're seeing some really good defensive effort from a lot of rosters today already. I think we will see some next game as well, sorry, next series as well. UCIT, yeah, really dominating right now, making sure to knock Griffith out of position, making sure to put a lot of pressure on them in offense, not letting them take too much control of the ball right now.
No, is Sai.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's just kind of almost going in. It does go post and out. ADOS gets a nice touch, some nice passing plays to get out of their half, but Griffith are struggling to score. It's honestly been quite a while for them.
Yeah, I think it has, hasn't it, actually? They've really been kept out of their offensive half right now, pushed back into defense a lot. We're going to see Ultraviolet go for an opportunity here, gets a beautiful touch off the roof, manages to keep control of it to get a second touch as well, but we're just kind of lacking a bit of team play here. Exile was sitting further back. We didn't have any second man push there to follow up with the shot. Ultraviolet trying to do it all himself right now, but just can't do it alone.
That was so close. Certainly Griffith's showing that there's still a threat. That's an awesome pass to BkWhatOCE. Ultraviolet is smart enough to cut that out though.
I think Ultraviolet's really fighting for his life right now, trying to play offense, trying to play defense. It just seems like ADOS and Exile aren't as in this game as much. We're going to see Cilio take the ball to the wall for Kabilio, goes for a pass, goes like 1-2, 1-2, back to Cilio, can't quite get the shot on net though.
No, not quite. It's been all UCIT. That's a big mistake. They don't get punished immediately. The pressure's continuing though. Wow, Ultraviolet gets the fake as well. Now this is actually a little dangerous for UCIT. ADOS tries to center it, but way too hard.
I think I'm scared for Griffith right now, but UCIT just, yeah, I guess very fortunate in Griffith's favour that UCIT was not getting those shots on net, or that they were going just a slight bit too wide, but the fact that they had those opportunities in the first place really speaks to the pressure they're putting on Griffith, and you know, the fact that Griffith really need to turn this around right now and, you know, swing things the other way.
Let's see if they can. Now Ultraviolet just keeping the pressure going, keeping UCIT on the back foot. They've just been so consistent in defense the last two games. It's tough to break them.
Definitely, we're going to see ADOS go for a shot now. Can't quite get it past three defenders who are all in net. Exile manages to get a really clean 50 on the ball though, keeping the ball in Griffith's possession. Going to go for a shot as well. Can't get it past BkWhatOCE. He's going to try and take it back downfield. Filio with a center, but nobody there for the pass.
There's not enough chances being created. The pressure's there. You can see just that final setup, that final pass, final backboard has just not been good enough. Time is ticking down. They might get one chance left. Here's ADOS being very tricky. Is someone there? Ultraviolet he was way too quick, but it might have set up Exile. What a save from sight. No one's there. Why is no one there? With no time remaining, UCID somehow get away with it.
Oh my god, UCID, what a feat that game. Griffith, I don't know what to say about this roster right now, Jake. These are strong players. This is a solid crew, and they've been a solid crew for a long time. But there just seems to be that chemistry missing, that I've said a ton tonight, but that synergy, that those team players are just not quite there. There's no trust in teammates, it seems. Someone's taking a shot at net, nobody's there to either clean up the shot or be there for the pass either. You can't have 3 solo players and win a game.
We see this kind of style quite often, honestly, with these kind of like defensive-minded teams. That when it works, when the other team's defense really isn't on point, you'll win because your defense is solid. You're not taking risks. But UCID's defense has been phenomenal, and you just need more to get past them. You need those clinical passes. You need to be quick. You need to be taking those risks, and Griffiths just haven't been taking them, so the chances just haven't been there.
Sure, and I feel like what's happened is, Griffith came out of the gates. They came like a bull out of the gates with the first game, and they, got that first goal, managed to hold on to it, but maybe they're just too predictable. UCID's recognized that they aren't getting these team passes. There's nobody to fear when that first shot misses, or there's nobody to fear when somebody's coming down the field. All you have to do is block the player who's taking the shot, because it's not going to be a pass necessarily. So when you're that predictable, you've got to change things up, otherwise you're just going to get red every single time.
That is what we're seeing. That's why Griffith haven't really been in the driver's seat. Here we go. That is what we've been missing. That is an awesome pass, and straight away, it works.
I don't know what's going on, but I feel like anytime we say something, or maybe more in particular me say something, I say, oh, this is, what we're not seeing. They immediately turn it around and start doing that. And I sound like I'm talking nonsense right now. But we saw that was an excellent team play. That was a beautiful pass. That is exactly what Griffith needed. That was not readable for UCID. And Griffith already managing to take the lead in this game.
Early. That is certainly what we needed to see from Griffith. Felt like things just kept going the way we've been going. It's going to be a quick 4th game, but no, Griffith going to keep things exciting. We'll see UCID playing aggressive here, keeping the pressure on. They might get rewarded instantly, but that is not a powerful shot.
No, definitely not. And definitely risky as well for BkWhatOCE to push up that high when both of his teammates were a little bit slow to get back. Both kind of sitting in opposition net, unable to rotate back too quickly. But like we said earlier, it's the risks you have to take sometimes to get the upper hand in these series or in these games. You're going to see Cecilio go for a shot now, go off the backboard, doesn't have the boost to follow it for the double. BkWhatOCE going to take the shot on net as well, but cannot get it past all 3 defenders.
Yeah, it's a good touch though from Griffith, good clear. No one's really there just yet. UCID players flying out of everywhere to get these touches. But still Griffith in the driver's seat right now.
Absolutely in the driver's seat with 1 goal up. What a shot! I was going to say 1 goal up, 3 minutes left, never mind, we have an equalizer. UCID fight back very quickly with the shot from Kabilio. Ultraviolet just cannot get there for the save. It's an accidental own goal. I guess I wouldn't really count it as an own goal, it's just come off Ultraviolet, but massive shot out of Kabilio.
That was great, and we could see it coming. UCID have just been playing really well, really aggressive ever since going down that first goal. You see immediately Griffith on the back foot again.
There we're going to see Kabilio go for the double touch. Just can't quite get the angle, but we're seeing the cogs turn in this team right now. We're seeing the cogs turn in the brain, creating the plays, setting up some beautiful shots, just going a little bit too astray right now, but I think eventually we're going to see these shots sink. It's only going to be a matter of time in this game.
Alright. 2.5 minutes left, or less than. It's all tied up. The pressure's on Griffith. UC just need to win this game, and They've won the series. Griffith don't have any more chances left in their pocket.
That's right. They've got to win this one to take it to Game 5, to take us to Champions Field. Otherwise, they will lose this series. We see a massive shot out of Ultraviolet. Again, it's the team players that are making the difference this series. It's the team players that we were missing last game that we are now seeing this game. Exile, massive shot, massive spike down to Ultraviolet. We just needed to get the slightest touch on that to send it into it.
And a lot of trust as well. Ultraviolet was just sitting middle. It didn't look very likely that it was even going to get to him, but he had faith in his teammate, and you're right, that's been the big change, and it's paid off instantly.
I don't think UCID are going to let this game go without a fight, though. That's for sure. We're seeing some mech come out of UCID. Seeing some massive saves come out of Cilio in particular, who's been hugely defensive this game.
Right, UCID have been on the back foot. I feel like that has been to their advantage the last few games, but now that they're behind on the scoreboard, it is their turn to start playing more aggressive, start taking more risks, and we'll see if they have it in them.
Definitely. I think it's cool to see in a series when there's a lot of back and forth between two teams. Like one minute, UCID's really dominating and keeping Griffith on the back foot in their defense. You know, unable to get the ball out of defense, boost starved, everything, the whole lot. And then the next minute, it immediately switches, and we've got Griffith going on the attack. Ultraviolet with a beautiful carry of that ball, keeping it like glued to his bonnet there. It's a beautiful touch over the top of BkWhatOCE and straight into the net.
That was sick. I mean, end-to-end dribble past everyone. Beats the shadowing defender who had full boost. No excuses there, just completely outplayed. And with 50 seconds left, a 2-goal cushion, that might have just been enough to take them to Game 5.
Definitely. I mean, shadow defense only goes so far. I think maybe a few ones games are needed for a bit of practice, maybe with a lot of these players. Definitely something I'm guilty of personally, not playing ones at all. I don't blame anyone who doesn't want to play ones, but definitely helps with the shadow defense. Definitely helps players kind of, you know, manage to read other players better when you're caught on the back foot.
Ultraviolet, standout performance here. UCID doesn't seem like they're getting enough offense here to stay in it. Maybe here, but Ultraviolet on the other end of the pitch as well, getting the saves that his team needs from him.
I love the attempt from Cilio there to come off the roof and spike it down so cleanly. It was going in net had there not been a defender there right there at that perfect time. But you know, I love seeing that kind of mechy play. I love seeing the teams really, you know, change things up a little bit. We're wanting more team plays, we're wanting less team plays, we're wanting more solo plays. I feel like a lot of these series that we've seen tonight kind of have it all.
No, it's been an exciting night. But we knew that coming into it, just so many close matchups on the ballot. It's good. It's what we came here to see.
Definitely, and it makes the league more exciting as a whole when you've got all these tight series, when you've got teams that are really putting on a show and challenging each other as well. It helps teams improve, of course, when you got one team that's dominant. And I mean, again, kind of calling out UNSW here as that dominant team from last season. When you don't have any teams challenging you, you kind of plateau after a while. So it's good to see that all of these teams are keeping these series tight and managing to really challenge one another.
Bloodbath in the middle of the leaderboard. Very close. All these teams just forcing the best out of each other. Even though they say they don't practice much, they're certainly improving a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, unless you're Bud. Unless you're getting coaching sessions and putting in the effort, which 100% has paid off. Teams will, you'll plateau after a while, or, you know, things will change up. You'll see teams take the lead one week and then fall down the next week, unless you're really putting in that effort to improve. But we've got a lot of tight team play going on right now.
Here's Exile. He's back. Gets dunked bad. Like Griffith, looking a lot more calm in their defense right now.
Absolutely, playing with that air of calmness that they had in the first two games definitely plays in their benefit. But seeing Cecilio now try and take the ball up the center, gets blocked. Massive clear from Kabilio. Cecilio going with it for the shot as well. Can't quite connect with the ball though.
No, not quite. I mean, but both these teams have had great defense all series long. It feels like whoever's going to win this game 5 is going to be off the offense.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they're definitely both playing well defensively, both needing to step up a little bit more offensively. You see AEST get a little touch on the ball there, trying to pass it to Exile, who wasn't quite there for the shot. Oh no, Kabilio just with a massive beat there, massive speed through Exile off balance. Exile had to turn around and try and jump for the save, but just perfect shot from Kabilio.
It's a massive mistake from Griffith as well. AEST with the back pass completely backfiring. Just beautifully done by Kabilio. Perfect punish.
Sure. Ultraviolet now can't get the touch. AEST going to get a little bit too heavy of a touch into center, but nonetheless Ultraviolet there to take it from the corner. Exile going to take it up the wall now, looking for a teammate, finds Ultraviolet. Can he get the shot? Goes too high.
Third man, AEST almost comes in. Ultraviolet's got full boost here. He's got the double touch. What a play.
Where did he even come from for that? I need a... Wow. Wow. Talk about right place, right time, but nonetheless kept his composure. Managed to get a very clean double. You'd find very few defenders who would manage to actually get around that and save that.
That was very impressive. What we want to see is Kabilio trying to air dribble the ball forward, but not quite. We're all tied up. 2.5 minutes. Time is ticking down. The nerves should start picking up soon.
Yeah, definitely. Pressure's always on when you go to game 5 and needing to fight for your life to stay in this, especially when you're all tied up, especially when it's 1-1 and you've got less than half a game left. Ultraviolet now a man of the hour, going to send the ball up really high, but again, teammates just not there to be able to take the shot on net.
No, not quite. Here's BkWhatOCE. Not able to get those goals. Feeling a bit suspect for you, Sid. They're not really back in defense at all. But they're keeping the ball off Griffith for now. Actually, shot opened up the side, but it goes wide. You said chance in offense here.
Yeah, I think you can really feel, you know, we're talking about Griffith being really kind of calm, or at least their playstyle feels calm. I feel like it's quite the opposite with UCID right now. We're seeing a lot of scramble. Like I said, they're pushing up. There's a bit of stress, I feel, coming off this side. But again, I've just eaten my words. I don't think Griffith is playing too cleanly now either.
Yeah, I was about to say, Griffith have been looking a bit sketchy as well. Not as trusting as we've seen. A lot more double commits coming out, but it makes sense. We're into our final minutes in game 5. Everything comes down to this final minute, or potentially overtime coming up.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right in calling that the pressure is on and the nerves are kicking in, but not for AEST. Never for AEST. Perfect positioning. Ultraviolet with a really nice, very soft touch off the hood of his car, off that backboard. Easy tap in for AEST, who was just there when he needed to be.
That was beautiful from Ultraviolet. That was an incredible pass, past everyone. Great synergy for AEST to know he was there as well. AEST is going to get the kickoff goal as well. That has to hurt for you, Sid.
But in a matter of seconds, we've gone from a tied game, from looking like an OT, looking like a long OT for this series. But Griffith have just managed to get 2 goals in a matter of seconds to get the lead in this game.
That is what we're seeing here. Ultraviolet. That almost hit. Exile playing very calmly, very far back. But look at UCID. They're not giving up. They're throwing everyone forward. Kabilio's got an open net. What a save from Ultraviolet. That was insane.
What a save from Ultraviolet, and then what a save from AEST as well on the follow-up shot. Both players just clinical in defense. Both players just, oh my god, perfect touches on the ball to save that. UCID absolutely putting the pressure on right now, but too little too late perhaps, because Griffith are just on a roll. There's no stopping them right now.
That was nuts. And then they get another goal. That should confirm it. Griffith, it didn't look the best. It really felt like everything was going UCID's way, but they've been able to close out the series. Game 5.
For sure, and you know, I feel like for the first 4 minutes 50 seconds of this game, I'm watching all eyes on Ultraviolet in offense and defense in the midfield, but ADOS coming in really clutch in this last, like, I guess 30 seconds of the game, playing so hard, and Exile with the final shot of the game right now to secure this win for Griffith. 5-1 in this final game, game 5 of the series. That's huge for them.
GG's. What a performance. I mean, well played to UCID as well. Griffith, the number 2 team from last season, showing why. And UCID really kept it close. Everyone's stepping up in a big way this season.
For sure. And that makes me all the more excited to keep casting the rest of the season and to keep even just watching and tuning into these games. It's just incredible gameplay. We're seeing really tight series. Like I said before, it's never fun when it's all one dominating team or a handful of dominating teams. We want to see these close series. We want to see the teams battling it out and fighting for it.
All right, well, we got an interview after the break. We will be back very shortly, and then we'll have our final match. It'll be UNSW up against ANU. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon. Been a crazy day of Rocket League, a second best of 5. It's exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. We got an interview with Exile, I think, ready to go. Exile, congrats on the win.
Thank
How you
you.
feeling?
Feeling good, but also a bit nervous right now after that game 5. After seeing that first goal, it was a bit nerve-wracking, but we scored 5 in the end, so it's all good.
Yeah, for sure. You guys brought that back hugely. Did you go into this thinking it was going to be a game 5?
To be honest, not really, because we finished second last season, and I'm not sure where UC finished, but I think they dropped down. So I don't think it's been a game 5. Maybe like they take one game off us or clean sweep. But yeah.
Exile, I've been hearing some smack from the other players thinking QUT could have come second if you guys faced off. What do you think of that power ranking, you two guys against each other?
I mean, QT, like, we beat them last season, and we also beat Macquarie twice, which I would say Macquarie is probably better than QT, so I guess we just play better than them. But I mean, if other teams want to think that, then they can think that.
Fair enough. Are you looking forward to the rematch against UNSW?
To be honest, like, yeah, I want to play them because they're the best and we want to beat them. But it's going to take a lot of training, so we'll see.
Sure.
Cool. I guess last question, how are you guys feeling as a team? Do you think you've improved over the off-season, and where do you think you'll place?
To be honest, we didn't really play much together during the off-season, but we're getting back into it, so I think the first few games are going to be a bit rough, but by the end of the season, we'll play a lot better.
Cool. All right, well, thanks for hopping on, Exile, and hopefully we can chat again next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I like the confidence, because, yeah, a lot of teams have been saying QT looked a little better, but he's not having it. He's saying the stats speak for themselves.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, they finished second for a reason, and, you know, we've seen how dominant they can be. We saw just then how they can really turn a series around and just, yeah, absolutely dominate other teams. And you said, you know, they did fall further down the ladder, but I wouldn't necessarily place them there again. I think they really are that kind of mid-pack team. They definitely have potential for a top 4 position as well. So to have such a dominant performance just then is really credit to Griffith.
Well, congrats to Griffith. We got our final match ready, and this is going to be potentially a bit more lopsided. We've had very even matchups all day long, but UNSW are the top dogs in the Elite Series. ANU have been a bit hit or miss. I mean, they beat Macquarie with this roster last season. They had a good performance last week as well. I think they may have, I don't think it was a reverse sweep, but it was game 5 against UCID, and we just saw how well UCID played up against Griffith as well. So there's potential here for ANU, but it's going to be tough.
I think the ANU game was a reverse sweep last week. I swear ANU were up to begin with, and then UCID just came through and just, yeah, reverse swept, which is a massive feat in itself. But ANU were so close to running away with that series. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they can deal a bit of damage today to UNSW. But this UNSW roster, they dominated last series for a reason. Like you said earlier, it was Griffith that took a series off them, but like right towards the end of the season. And then obviously they won. They came first. So you've got some experienced players here. You've got some very talented players, but they've got a lot of competitive experience under their belt as well, which really plays in their favor.
It's going to be a tough one, but we know the potential Ultimate Duck has, but the UNSW roster have just been so consistent. They've been playing together for a while now, ever since Diggs replaced Jules a few seasons ago, and has just been phenomenal in that spot as well. So it's going to be tough for ANU. We might see some very impressive plays coming out of UNSW.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like attention usually does get drawn to Tatagane and to Steve as well, who are those competitively experienced players, but I think Steve slots really well into this roster. I think that kind of, I guess, more of that kind of support role is really needed sometimes, and it really fills out this roster. Diggs he's had plenty of great shots himself and great saves and plays last season, but I think the support to Steve and Tadagane is really key in this roster.
This is potentially tough on the confidence as well, because we just got confirmed by the admins that it was a reverse sweep that ANU lost to last weekend, and now they're up against top dogs in the season. I mean, after getting reverse sweep, like, surely you just want an easy match, but no, it is 33 seconds in, and UNSW have scored already off the back of Steve.
Exactly off the back of Steve just then, and a nice little, just a little hop that ball into the net was all it took just then. Yeah, I have to agree, it would be really hard on ANU to come into this on the back of last week, but I guess to play devil's advocate, it does mean that they get arguably the hardest game of the season out of the way early, and they can focus on improving the rest of the season and climbing the ladder instead, which can, if you've got a goal to climb, that can, you've got a purpose, you've got something to do in the season, and that can really be as well.
It can also help that they don't have expectations, because it was obviously very disappointing. Maybe they're kind of expecting things to be tough here, but Steve already starting out strong. UNSW just having fun, passing with each other, playing so aggressively as they like to as well. All three players, 0 boost, all in the box of the opponent, and it doesn't matter because they score anyway.
Sure. I mean, I would love to see ANU... I would love to see ANU take a game off UNSW at least here, and I think, that like we said earlier, they're not untouchable. There's always a way and an opportunity to do that. And I think, when you've got a player, for example, like Ultimate Duck on the team, who has proven himself to be very mechanical, who has proven himself to be very solid as well, really does help ANU have a good chance here.
That was a fantastic goal just then out of Steve. Just a really clean double touch with the pre-flip as well. He's looking good. He's looking very good.
Sure, but when is Steve not looking good as a player? I think we're gonna see a lot out of him like that this series. And I guess same kind of thing with Tadagane. I think that Tadagane's had plenty of opportunities in the past to score those really mechy goals, to score those really solo plays as well. I think both players pull that off, and we can see Steve kind of passing it there to Tadagane, who just couldn't get to it in time. But they've got that synergy, they've got that team play and that work together that they can play really coolly together.
Oh, Diggs! Oh, what a rough miss. Oh, maybe it was Steve. I don't know, but somehow UNSW did not get punished by that. That was insane.
Definitely very lucky for them there, but nonetheless, I think one goal, they won't be sweating that too much had that gone the other way. You see Tadagane come off the roof, a massive pass to Diggs, who just can't get there in time.
Gosh, UNSW are just so aggressive, so mechanical to back it up as well. ANU are doing a great job keeping the scoring at bay for now.
Exactly, and I think that's all they need right now, is to keep the scoring off the net. I'm speaking too soon. We've still got half a game left. There's still plenty of time for things, but I think they hold off for a fairly long time there, but Ultimate Duck just kind of caught in net by himself. All three players putting pressure on him. He couldn't tell which way the ball was going to go.
No. Beautifully done, either way. Here's Tata, up in the air. Ultimate Duck, he's going to get a chance. He's got a lot of boost here. Nice show of his mechanics, but UNSW are all back. All ready to take that ball off him and create yet another attack.
It's a shame, because it was a nice little musty there that he was able to get very cleanly. And I think against any other team, that's clinical. That is going to score goals for ANU. But against UNSW, who know how to read those, it's tough. It's tricky. No matter what you do, they're there and they're ready to block any attempt at that.
It does seem like that, doesn't it? Tough day. Oh, everyone missing the ball a bit. Tata up to Steve. Steve to Tata. That would have been a beautiful goal.
As much as I don't want them to like completely dominate this, I want ANU to be in it somewhat. I love seeing teams like that. I want to see goals like that come out of these players because I think that's huge. But we see Diggs coming in with the pressure here to get a nice little pop into the net, easily around defense. Put this side up 6-0.
This is rough. This is what we were afraid of. UNSW, top dogs and just no mercy in game 1 here.
Definitely not. I think we're going to see a lot of this throughout the season from UNSW. No matter who they're going to come up against, there is no mercy on this side. They're hungry for goals. They want to score as much as they can. They don't want... They want every goal. They want everything. Not quite the same we wanted. It was the right idea. Right idea, probably not the right execution. They're coming out of shoulder. It was an attempt nonetheless. Better than just watching it go in, because somebody was about to put that in.
Yeah. Definitely unfortunate. Probably glad it was the 7th goal to let in and not the 1st of game 2. I think ANU are done. I think they're ready to get out of this game.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. They've seemed to have lost their mojo, they've lost their confidence. I don't blame them, to be fair, against this UNSW side. It's fair enough. But hopefully they come out swinging in game 2. You know, let this one go. It's okay. It's a write-off. But next game, I want to see a little bit more pressure. I don't want to see UNSW 7-0 up.
I think... Oh, might be 7-1. I mean, Tata tries to go for the own goal. Diggs isn't having it. Yeah, ANU just... I feel like Ultimate Duck has been fighting these like opportunities to almost do something, but just... it's not enough.
No, definitely not.
No.
Oh no, Meta Super Whip there as well. Almost a massive opportunity, just gone slightly astray, just a little bit too wide. I mean, look, if they scored one, honestly, I'd count Brazil as a dub. That's definitely a dub against UNSW. But we see Tata go with just so many touches, so many flip resets. I'm losing count of how many he can do in a row, honestly. This team's terrifying, Jake.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Terrifying is a good word. Look, ANU, they survived game 1. By survive, I mean got completely smashed, but at least it's done. We can go into game 2, and I mean Tartagade with a score of 866 is just ridiculous for a game that did not go to overtime.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Tata or Steve or even Diggs hit 1,000 points in one of these games. I think it's bound to happen at some point this season. It could be this series, who knows? But yeah, they're just relentless. They're not easing off the acceleration, are they? When they're up 6-0, 7-0, they're just putting the pressure on ANU.
Yeah, it's rough. We'll see if they can recover. Jumping in to the start of game 2 now. We'll have to see. ANU certainly a starting goal would do absolute wonders for them. See if they can pick UNSW off when they're maybe being a bit overconfident.
For sure. I thought we were almost about to see that out of Ultimate Duck. Beautiful positioning to be able to go for that double or that almost that kind of skim off the side wall there. But instantly we see the ball turn around and go UNSW's way, and just the pressure's on both of these sides right now. A back pass gone astray as well. You don't want to give UNSW just a free opportunity at net like that.
And ANU are panicking a bit. UNSW are really sitting back and taking their time. And as I say that, Diggs with the solo play just changes the pace of play. Looks like he's taking his time, but off the back of that Tata demo, just speeds it up. Gets it past Ultimate Duck and in the net.
That's mean. That's mean of Tartagade. I'm gonna say that, to go for a demo when they're really just putting the pressure on offense. Obviously mean for good reason, and just in jest. I think mean is fine in a game of Rocket League. It's what you gotta do sometimes. But for ANU really not having much luck go their way right now, even with the demos in net. Just yeah, they can't hold it together right now.
The spirit of Zen lives on. Zen, the player who consistently not play the game properly and just go for demos, that role has been taken up by Tata in this game.
I love that. Oh my god, I was about to say who's ever gonna fill Zen's shoes, but yeah, I feel like you might be right with that one. Oh, we're gonna see Diggs now go for an opportunity. We're gonna see Tata still chasing the demos. Oh my god, you are right.
I'm telling you, Tata's actually not going for the ball. He's completely he's Zen mode, just complete bumps, and I mean, Diggs and Steve don't need him. They connect, get the goal.
For sure, I feel like yeah, this is the roster that can fall out of rotation and not suffer any consequences for it. They fall out of rotation, but they do it well. They do it with purpose, unlike some other teams where we've seen fall out of rotation in a bit of a scramble. There's definitely purpose to the way that they're doing it. Nonetheless, ANU has managed to keep this goal a little bit lower scoring. Sorry, this game a little bit lower scoring from UNSW, blocking them out a little bit, managing to get a few more saves.
Managing to get Tata to actually go for the ball. He wanted the pre-jump. So maybe it's just bumps and pre-jumps. That'd be an interesting challenge.
Oh, it would for sure. We're going to see Ultimate Duck go with a nice little mechanical play there, a little flip reset. Tata's bumping his own teammates. Tata's going for Steve now, taking Steve out of the play. A little bit, it's a confusing tactic. I admire it.
He wants to do even worse than Zen. He finally got Zen out of the league. And Tata's going to be an even worse monster of him.
To take out the own teammates when, like, I think Tata's just not on anyone's team right now. He's just going for anybody and everybody on the field. But UNSW, half a game left, up 3-0. Gonna see Steve go for an opportunity here. Again, we're gonna see Diggs go for the bumps on net. Doesn't quite make contact, but, throws him off nonetheless by putting the pressure on.
It was very close from Steve. Very skilled. Always very good at those multiple touches. He's got full boost. That could have been a crucial touch there for ANU. It doesn't matter. Steve just always on the ball. So good.
Absolutely. Two ANU players then just overcommitting, double committing on, that was Ultimate Duck and Nimbus actually both committing to that block there, but Shoulder managing to make the save in net when left alone. Ultimate Duck getting a nice touch, manages to get it just over Taligane as well, but Taligane too quick to turn on that and take the ball back into his own possession.
Whoa, close opportunity. Here's Tata off the ceiling. Oh, he has the flip, but well defended by ANU.
Absolutely. Potentially an opportunity now for ANU, not quite as Taligane manages to get over the top of 1, 2, almost 3 players, can't quite get there. Steve though, with possession of the ball, getting a nice touch, manages to get the flip, can't do anything with it.
No, not quite. Tata, almost. Decent chance.
Oh.
Ultimate Duck out of nowhere. Metis with the follow-up, but still the defense from UNSW too strong.
That was looking good for a second. I know I said at the start of the series I want a game off UNSW for ANU, but at this point I'm hoping for a goal. I want to see a goal. I want to see a little bit of momentum, because a goal can turn into 2 goals. 2 goals can turn into 3. I know it's a hard ask, but you got to start somewhere. And I have my fingers crossed for ANU right now. I wanted to see them do just some damage in this series.
Yeah, this is rough. This is getting real rough. ANU have had a lot of close chances though, but UNSW have just been very clinical in defense as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think all 3 players are a bit of a brick wall in defense. They're not letting too much get past them. I think we've only seen one almost shot on net from Nevermind from Ultimate Duck. Eating my words again, Metis with a beautiful, beautiful goal just then. That's what I want to see out of this ANU side. That's the kind of double that I want to see. That's the kind of touch that I need to see out of these players right now. And there we go, we've got momentum.
That was sick. I mean, what a goal. if that's what it takes to get a goal on UNSW, you can see how it's so difficult because that was fantastic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Ultimate Duck trying to go for a ceiling shot as well, but Steve just too tight in defense there, going for a random musty. Can we? Oh no, we can't see another shot on there. I thought the ball was not going to touch the ground then. I thought we were going to see one more shot. But nonetheless, we have seen a goal out of ANU. That's what I wanted. That's what we need in this series. And it may not take them to a game 4. It may not take them to a game 5, but it's a win nonetheless, I think.
Diggs with all 4 goals.
Wow.
That's kind of awesome. Playing super well. But then you can see the style. Steve with 63 touches, just so many multi-touches, going for those air dribbles every chance he gets. And looking good doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I said, all eyes typically are usually on Steve and Tadagane, but Diggs is a great player himself. And aside from kind of like filling in between those two players, as we can see, manages to take control of the game himself, gets all 4 shots, gets assists, gets saves, gets so many touches as well. I think Diggs can really shine when he has the opportunity to.
Well, potentially the final game. Certainly if things keep going the way they have been. ANU got their goal. That's one step forward. The next milestone is actually take a game off UNSW.
Might be a hard ask, I think. Yeah, I think UNSW really came out of the gates. First game, second game, they maybe eased off the acceleration a little bit. I think when they really lock in, I think that, you know, any team is hard off to challenge them this season. But we've got a couple that can, but it's going to take a lot of effort, potentially a lot of training.
And also does not help that Tadagane instantly scores after 14 seconds. He's back to playing properly. He's so quick to punish those goals.
Tadagane actually going for the ball this game? Wowie, who would have thought? Steve with that. You know what I love to see as well? You know, we talked about kickoff tactics and kickoff strategies earlier, and that wasn't necessarily a kickoff strategy, but when you've got a player like Steve or like Tadagane, even like Diggs on kickoff, who can speed flip so fast and beat a lot of these players who in the league potentially don't have the cleanest speed flip, you just bulldoze through 2 players on the kickoff. Like, that's all it takes sometimes, is just a clean speed flip, and these players have exactly that.
Players are looking good. Look how quick Tata is. I mean, not just with the speed flips, he's just quick in every facet.
Yeah, for sure. I think all 3 of these players are and can be. And we almost saw a shot off the kickoff, almost saw a kickoff goal, but Tadagane gets back in time to be able to take control of the ball. Steve now with a massive touch. Gets the pass off to Tada. Takes the tiniest little touch to try and set it into net. Goes too wide though.
I mean, that's a massive miss for his standards, but I mean, the way things have been going, I just don't think it's going to matter. They already have their 2 goals, and they're still just playing so aggressive.
Ooh, almost a really good play off Ultimate Duck and Metis there, I think. You know, last season I really enjoyed watching that duo in particular. I think Metis is a really strong all-round player, maybe doesn't have quite the mech that Ultimate Duck has, but I think last season they managed to play really well together as a duo, to get a lot of really good clean passing plays off one another, even those kind of clean-up goals when needed. So I'm hoping that they kind of warm up a little bit more, maybe not the series in particular, but towards the mid to end of the season.
Oh, Diggs. This is the ball there. Here's Steve. The flip. Can't get it past him though. UNSW just relentless with this pressure.
Absolutely. You know, you can see Tadagane taking shots like that, and like a skim off a double touch off the sidewall. It's huge, and it really goes to show how mechanically advanced he is as a player, and how dominant he really can be in this scene when he puts his mind to it.
Here's what we're seeing. There's Tata. To Diggs, back to Tata, who finds the corner. UNSW just make it look so easy.
Absolutely, and like even just this shot here, it takes skill to It sounds so simple, but it takes skill to air roll your car in a split second like that and shoot when you're so front on in front of the ball to rotate your car and shoot so far left of the defenders. I think that takes a lot of skill as well, and it's something that maybe I don't really point out too often, or I don't recognize a lot. It's always the mechanical plays and the kind of like really, really interesting, fun plays we look for. But yeah, that in itself takes a lot of skill.
Absolutely. Here's Tata, almost own goaling. Not quite. You can see just how aggressive everyone from UNSW, always so quick, so close, so hungry to get the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And you really, really fighting to stay alive here just to get one more goal. We're going to see Ultimate Duck go for the flip. Doesn't quite get it though. Metis managing to keep the ball, passes it off to Shelbert, who can't take the shot on net either, just because the defenders are just playing too well, to be quite honest with you. But, yeah, tricky.
Very tricky. I look, it's back to rooting for them to score a goal. I mean, Metis' goal was absolutely insane. It's normally what we see out of Ultimate Duck. Ultimate Duck has just been shut out this series, though. Alright, here's all of them. They're just tripping over each other now.
Every single player on the pitch in the one spot at the ones. Oh, we're gonna see a shot. Another shot come out of Shelbert. Ooh. Did we score that? Hang on.
Hang on.
Yeah, ANU goal, ANU goal. We've got an ANU goal. Diggs, don't do that.
To be fair, Diggs was kind of forced into it.
True.
He was trying to get it over the crossbar. Yeah, a gift for Shelbert, for sure.
Well, doesn't matter. ANU gets to go out of this saying they got at least 2 goals, potentially more. So we've still got a minute left. They've taken 2 goals off UNSW. We count that.
I mean, it feels impressive when they've also let in like 20 or something. It's been a very high scoring affair. Here's Steve, flip reset, doesn't matter. Tata out of nowhere there to get the goal.
Wowie. Wow. These players really do have it all. This is crazy to see how talented they are mechanically, how much chemistry they've got with one another, how they create team plays. Look, being not totally new to the uni league scene, but being somewhat new. Have UNSW always been like this? Have we had other dominant teams in other than last season, in previous seasons, Jake?
Macquarie used to be the dominant one.
Oh yeah?
Honestly. But yeah, UNSW came out of nowhere because they actually started in the Open Series for some reason. So Macquarie, I think, won that season, and then yeah, ever since UNSW have been here, they've just been rushing.
Yeah, fair enough, for good reason. I mean, I can see how Macquarie would have been a dominant team as well when they focus on. But yeah, UNSW just absolutely unstoppable right now. Dominant in defense, dominant in offense, barely letting anything in, and then scoring just so many goals down the other end. Just it's so hard to beat this team right now.
Impressive, isn't it? It's a very well played. Shows the gap in the competition and just makes you curious which teams will be able to give UNSW a serious run for their money.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, yeah, we said it at the start of this series, but it's a tough run for ANU to come into this as their second series. As their second week of this season. Super unlucky to come up against the reigning champions, but it is what it is. Yeah, hopefully they can pick it up a little bit more in the season.
Look, it's been an interesting day. We've had some very close matches. We've had some very not close matches, but that's kind of what you sign up for, because you truly never seem to know the kind of results that we get in the Uni League.
For sure, very, very unexpected. And I mean, some of the series earlier on in the night, I didn't expect to go one way or another. I didn't expect a reverse sweep. I didn't expect some game 5s there. I thought other series were going to be a little less tight, I guess. Never know what to expect with these nights, to be quite honest with you.
No, it's been a fun one. Just props to UNSW for the most dominant win of the day. I think that UON series is certainly still my favorite one. Reverse sweeps are always special.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And yeah, like UON have always been such a strong team as well. They were last season, so props to them. Definitely one of the teams that would be able to pull off a reverse sweep, and yeah, really glad we got to see that.
And then Griffith as well, taking out that close match against USID. And then actually UTS over University of Melbourne was a 3-1, so we did get every type of result today. Too easy.
Actually, we did. Now, come to think of it, we did get that 3-1 we wanted. Yeah, unfortunate for UOM as well to lose their second week in a row, but again, another team I'm keen to look out for and see how they progress within the season.
Cool. Well, we got an interview with Diggs coming up. Keen to hear what he thought of that series and just their situation in the league right now.
Yeah, for sure. I think Diggs is definitely a player I'd love to chat to about kind of how he's prepped to come into this. Obviously, being the reigning champs, like we said before, there's pressure when you come into a new season, and you won last season. So interesting to see how this chat goes.
All right. Well, Diggs was ready to go, and then he ran away, and I'm pretty sure he's back now. So Diggs, congrats on the win, man. How you feeling?
Pretty good as normal. Yeah, I mean it wasn't too much of a challenge, but it's good to get the win nonetheless.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, did you see any of the other results or any of the other games tonight? Is there any other team you're kind of worried about?
I did watch a couple of the earlier games. If anything, I'm probably less worried about QUT now. Just because I thought they would have that win, but yeah, UTS are actually looking pretty good now though, so it could be interesting.
Well, are you worried about Griffith at all either? Because I actually told them in an interview that we never hear about them. People like you are always just talking about QUT, and he wasn't having it. Wasn't too happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, they are a solid team as well. We versed them quite recently as well in the Uni Rocketeers tournament, the Worlds tournament, and we beat them pretty comfortably there as well, even with our sub. So we're not like too worried. I mean, they're still a great team, easily top 4 or top 2 team. But yeah, should still have that one in the bag, I reckon.
Fair enough. I mean, coming into this as the reigning champs and how dominant you guys really have been throughout last season and already this season, you're talking about wins against the other teams who are top 4 or top 2. Is the aim then to go for a complete sweep of all series this season? Do you think that's possible?
I wouldn't mind it. We'll see how we go. My teammates can be a little trolly at times, so we might end up throwing a couple games, but I'll try to keep that clean slate.
Look, that's actually how I wanted to end the interview, because we finally got rid of Zen from the AEL, rid of the demo trolling, and Tata seems to want to outdo him, even demoing Steve. So, like, what are your thoughts? Is there anything you can do to convince him to play normally?
So apparently Shelbert asked Tata to mark him, as in like just like demo him the whole game is how Tata interpreted it. So you can blame Shelbert for that one.
All right. Better not see it next week.
I was about to say, you sure we're not going to see that again? I don't know. He looked pretty happy with the way he was playing there.
Yeah, I hope not.
All right, well, thanks for hopping on, Diggs, and we'll probably chat to you next week at this rate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm not convinced. I think Tata's going to keep things interesting and make it... I don't know. I would say difficult for them to like 3-0 every series, but they seem to be able to 3-0 the series either way. So
honestly, maybe Shelbert asked for that, but I think Tata kind of got a taste for the Zen playstyle then, and I don't know if that's going to be the last of it. We'll see. I think that's just the beginning potentially, but who knows?
That was yeah, that was dominant. That was scary. Like UNSW honestly feel like they're getting further and further away from everyone in terms of being that dominant team. But here's the results from today. So like you can see, it's been a bit of a mixed match. 3-1, 3-2s, and 3-0s, but certainly the UON versus QUT was my favorite match today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like you gotta love a reverse sweep, and it's always exciting. Like I said, to cast, to watch. It's exciting for everybody involved, unless you're QUT, understandably not as exciting. But yeah, cool to see we had a mixture of results tonight. The 3-1, the game fives as well, and the sweep. Like it was expected. But yeah, a couple of good goals from ANU there to kind of hold their own a little bit. But I have to agree with you, UON and QUT. That was the best one tonight.
And it was good to see UTS getting their first victory in the Elite Series. You can see them sitting at 1-1. And I think this is actually pretty reasonable standings already. I mean, it's early on for sure. Only just finishing week 2 now, but those standings seem pretty reasonable to me.
Yeah, I have to agree. Aside from Griffith, I think that
being a bit low, yeah.
I think that they're definitely a little bit low down. University of Melbourne, they've had a tough run, but I think they're kind of top 4. Maybe not at the moment. Maybe they need to warm into the tournament a little bit and warm into the season a little bit. They are brand new, but brand new is not going to stop UTS, who have really solidly taken that 3rd place spot. Can they hold on to it? I honestly think they will hold on to a top 4 position.
It's going to be tough. They're going to have to squeeze it out in front of one of those teams in the top 6. It's I think we're going to have a really exciting battle for top 4 this season. It's been very exciting the past few seasons. We always have it very close. It's very unpredictable going into that final week, and it doesn't seem like it's going to change.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, again, over and over again, bringing up UNSW, but if they stay as dominant as they were last season, as dominant as they have been these first 2 series already, these first 2 weeks, then yeah, we're really in for an interesting finals, that's for sure.
Well, that close to wrapping up the show. I think after such a good day, we certainly have to thank our sponsors for all of that again.
Yeah, of course. None of this is going to be as spectacular or as amazing as it is with the work of the team behind the scenes, and of course with the sponsors that we have on board as well. So massive thank you to both AGON and Indomie. So AGON by AOC, the gaming monitor partner, who provide the best in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. As well as Indomie, the noodle partner, made with high quality flour and select ingredients and spices. Plate of Indomie mee goreng will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavours available today from your local grocer, or of course at indomie.com.au.
Awesome. You also got to make sure to follow the AEL at AU Esports League. Stay up to date on all AEL events, competitions, and activations. So keep up to date, because you don't want to miss days like today. Today was something else.
Yeah, of course not.
Oh. Well, that's been a fun one. Thanks for joining me, Morgie. I think
thanks for having me.
I think we got a few more weeks together casting together, so should be fun. And thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you next week for AEL, and yeah, enjoy your week.
Catch you then.